We talked about this, and we're really not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers as far as I'm concerned. I love The Last Jedi.
The nights will never be the same.
Hello. Oh, we are joined by a stack of tires, Dane. How's everybody doing?
I'm tired.
Clearly.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So, wow, crap, Ed's here. I was really hoping we could just have tires and to really it perfect the theme.
Yeah, they are.
I think you mute Dane, man. But yeah, So, just to warn everybody, like the main story today is going to be it'll be a little serious, but we got fun stories on like the borders. So just go ahead and get us going right now. We're gonna do some Guess the Grifter. You just saw Dane did a great segment for Guess the Grifter on the main Fandom Initiative one. And so we are gonna go ahead. We got a new segment of Guess the Grifter. So the media is done with Disney. Turns on Marvel and Star Wars.
Well, so this is interesting because I feel like I would have heard if like all of the media had signed some kind of agreement that they were done with Disney. I always get really fucking like, God damn it, whenever people are like, the media does this or that. Like, who are you talking about, man? Sorry.
I remember on the news and it just like all of media said it's all done with Marvel and Star Wars. I was like, wow. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how.
What do they think Disney is if it's not the media?
It's not Disney is media, but it's not the media.
Oh no, right, yeah, but it is a lot of it. Let's be real.
Listen, they only control 40% of it, so it's not the media.
It's not even half.
Yeah, exactly. Irrelevant.
Now, I will say I could definitely see RK or Geeks and Gamers doing something like this, but this isn't really a drinker title. I will say, Reed. Are we ready for the reveal?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, nope, nobody's got it. This is a clownfish.
Oh, I was gonna say clownfish too.
they're B-listers, but they got lots of views.
Yeah, they're more like they seem to have people that they're not quite as edgy as some of the chuds we often talk about. So they tend to have like I guess I worry about those kind of channels almost more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are either fully going on the grift or they're just being like, just a married couple talking and like, hey, that's cool and all, but that's not something I want to listen to.
We should do an exploration at some point.
Yeah, I'm down.
House of the Dragon smashes competition. Episode 5 review. We like the way.
This must have been somebody that was really excited about House of the Dragon prior to it coming out, and they were making lots of content. Like, I can't wait for this.
Yeah,
to come out.
Will be great.
Be really good.
Yeah,
it has to be that.
This is definitely this. I mean, the fact they emphasize the word review. I mean, it tells you they were pumped for this review.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go ahead and keep it to myself on this one.
I like to let the audience.
Get a few options in there. I'm pretty sure the audience has this one. This is Nerdrotic.
Yeah.
And as we all know, like just leading up to House of the Dragon, he was so excited for that series and never called it woke or anything.
No, he loved it. Ryan Kennel was really excited.
the Dinker was excited.
Didn't we find a really good picture of Nerdrotic lately? Like, it's a really good picture.
Oh, I got one yesterday.
Really handsome in it. Where's it at? Can we show that?
Is it? Oh, I think it's this one right here. Oh yeah. Here, let me share my screen with you.
I guess. Oh, it's on the thumbnail. Never mind. I thought we were going to surprise.
Oh, you want to do that one? We could do that one.
This is a really handsome picture.
Yeah, Ed had a good one as well.
Wait, it's right there if you want to add it to the stream real quick.
Okay. Yeah, Ed actually had a real picture last night.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Right.
That's nightmare fuel right there.
That's fucking Smeagol, dude. That's actual Golem.
That's not a good picture. I've got a better one. I'm just pretend that I'm doing this and you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's pretend like I'm talking about a real picture. We're gonna look at. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Share my screen here. Like, this is just what a handsome fella.
Yeah.
That musty ass shirt. Hey, you know that shirt was just pure white when he got it, right?
Yep. Which was yesterday.
Yeah, this was actually a picture of him taken yesterday, like right before he was about ready to start filming.
Jesus. All right.
That's absolutely him.
I made another picture, by the way, based off of this, and another thing. It might be too gross for you guys, so I'm not going to show it unless you ask really nicely. But yeah.
All right. So next one up. Why modern movies suck. They hate men. If you watch yesterday's, you know this one.
Oh yeah. Well,
if you haven't watched yesterday's, you need to watch yesterday's.
I haven't watched yesterday's yet, so I don't know.
Oh, you slacker. I haven't either, so.
Reed.
Yeah, I think
you guys are putting an R in there. There's no R in there.
Yeah, there's no R. It's I don't know why you're putting an extra R in there.
Greg's got it.
Yeah.
Dinker do.
Yeah.
That's
this
also
this is the cynical dinker. Yeah.
Which is a good opportunity to announce that I think we're probably going to end up making that somewhat of a recurring type of show that we do, since everybody seemed to enjoy it, and I nearly had a fucking aneurysm. So yeah. Why modern critical drinkers suck. We'll be doing that.
Well, I mean, he is the most popular movie YouTuber right now, which is just fucking disturbing. I mean, he does a video every couple days, and it will be like 1 million views within like a day or two.
Is he really the most successful?
By views, easily.
Damn.
The only one that might approach it would be Red Letter Media, but Red Letter Media takes longer to produce stuff because they actually put fucking effort into it.
Are we counting them as chuds, or are we just talking about movie reviews?
No. I'm just talking about raw movie YouTubers. Critical Drinker right now is probably the most successful.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say Drinkers is raw. After yesterday, I'm pretty sure his stuff is very specifically refined to make a certain point.
Yeah, true.
Shot of bullshit. Yeah.
Busted. Avatar: The Way of Water will be the biggest flop in Hollywood history.
This seems like Nerdrotic.
Again. I don't think Nerdrotic would cover a movie that's this middle of the road and risky in terms of what the outcome could be. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Ryan Canal on this one.
See a couple more options coming in.
Let's see.
KKK Outpost.
Mm-hmm.
Triple K. I like that.
All right, who is this? It's Yellow. Wait,
Yellow Flash.
Yellow Flash. Wow.
What's up with that title? That's not the
interesting.
Title. That's weird.
Oh no.
What?
Oh wow, that's
What?
Are you sure?
okay.
Oh wait, here's the original thumbnail and title of that video.
So wait, wow. Why would he change the title like that?
I don't know. Yeah,
Ah,
almost like it was like extraordinarily wrong.
Yeah, but I mean that would mean he's being dishonest though.
Well, yeah, that
Like
Oh,
he's trying to
these
hide
are
how
right.
fucking wrong he was because he wants to
Yeah.
maintain his air of legitimacy, but that can't be.
Yellow
no,
Flash?
he would never be that.
come on now. If there's anybody you could trust, it's someone with the piss fetish.
He's a man of virtue, you know.
Out of
Good
virtue.
Good old
Listen,
yellow
a
fast.
virtue being pissed.
Now, you can totally tell that he changed this because this is like all his thumbnails are like a picture and then some text, and this is
Yeah.
the only one that's just like a screenshot. Just
Yeah,
random.
that's a rush job right there.
Yeah,
That was-
it's like, oh
that's
fuck,
like his-
this is making money.
That's Yellow Flash's whole thing, dude. I covered a video that was literally him going to Google reviews of a movie. That was just 8 minutes of that, dude. This
Dude.
guy just like wakes up, takes a coffee, grift time, takes a nap the rest of the day or something.
I covered him once, and it's like all he did in the video that I watched anyway was just read an article in a sarcastic voice.
Mhm.
Like he'd be like, oh, and it's not, it's not even a critical article. He's reading like just a legit regular fan. I don't remember what it was, but then it would have like, oh, we tried to do representation, and that's when he would just go, oh, representation. It's like, wow, man, fucking A+, high energy
Yeah.
content you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. High effort, high reward, man.
Well, I've only covered one video of his, but that video was entirely him just praising Chris Pratt. That was all it was. It was just, and it was cringy too. It was just like, dude, do you want to just like maybe hook up with him? Like, what are you like? What is
this
up
because
with
of the
this? I
terminal
don't
list?
understand.
It probably is.
It was when he was covering Love and Thunder, that first trailer that came out. Remember?
I see.
And there was like people with like 5 Twitter followers saying cancel Chris Pratt, and he acted like it was a huge movement. And yeah,
Wait a second here. Wait, never mind. Okay, I'll check in on this later. My bad, guys.
Marvel's Ant-Man Quantumanium in trouble. Studio demanded reshoots.
I got a bow out of this one. I saw it on my stream yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I already had it set up, and then
I have something I want to say about reshoots and
you spoiled.
MCU. We can. I'll wait until after we guess. But
yeah. Well, fun fact. Well, I'll just go ahead and say reshoots on a big budget Hollywood movie, like a mainstay. Like they happen. Period.
Not only that, but I'm sitting here reading right here. I'm on volume 2 of the Story of Marvel Studios. Right, big ass fucking book. Reshoots are built into their production model. They do it on purpose, and they talk about in there how like people seem to think that it just inherently means something is wrong, something's bad, and it's like, no, we intentionally build it into the timeline, the production timelines, because we know it's not about fixing something. It's about the movie becomes more, as they're making it, they find elements that they didn't know might, show up, and they go, oh, we should highlight that more. So they'll like go back and shoot something else to kind of fill in something that they didn't expect to be relevant. You know what I mean? And it's like it's a type of fucking building a story.
Yeah. And it's not just Marvel. It's pretty much every blockbuster. I mean, speaking of books, I read The Making of Mad Max Fury Road, and I mean, even that movie that was hyper planned out to the frame, like the storyboards, the script is 99% of what you see on screen. All that, they still have to go back and reshoot a couple things here, because when you do stuff on that scale, on that budget, studios are going to hedge their bets, even if that means spending a couple $1 million more to make sure they get it right, because these movies are expensive and they need to make a lot of fucking money to make a profit.
I have so much more appreciation for Marvel Studios now reading this book, because like the way that they fucking pivot and like have figured out how to get ahead of potential problems and shit. So like whenever it was announced that Blade, the movie they're working on, like they basically went back to square one. They fired the director or whatever. Everybody's like, oh, it's a disaster. And it's like, nah, I bet it's not. I bet they just decided this isn't going the way we want to go. So, and they're, Feige's a fucking champion, dude. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, I want to stress, when you restart a project in pre-production, that is exactly when you want to restart it, because literally in pre-production, everything can change. and you won't tell in the finished product. It means nothing towards the finished product.
Sorry,
I'll be blunt. Like, the only reason not to do reshoots would be like if you have a smaller budget, because I know I wouldn't even want like if I did a small movie, I'd probably want some reshoot time put aside in case I'm going over footage and going, oh shit, this actually got fucked up. You know, you want that.
Yeah. On 2 of my movies, I had to reshoot a couple of things and stuff like that. If it happens on my movies, the most expensive one costing $10,000, like it happens on everyone's movies, you know.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing much guesses on this one, but these guys are very insidious. This is a Midnight's Edge. Yeah, we probably need to cover them a bit more, but yeah, they're very Fandom menace, but they act like they have the production background behind it, and they don't. Sometimes they'll layer their videos behind some actual production stuff, and then there'll be a point where they just go off the deep end. And
see, it's interesting that they. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was just going to say it's interesting that they, you know, Midnight's Edge, they act like they're like experts in the industry and filmmaking, right? But it's pretty easy to find where Kevin Feige has said reshoots was a bad word. Oh, this movie's in reshoots. There must be a problem. He said in 2019, reshoots are key to our films, starting with Iron Man. Basically, yeah, in the first time it was kind of a like, oh, we didn't expect to have to reshoot some stuff, but they did. And that from then on, they were like, this is part of the way we're doing it. You think these guys could look that up, you know?
Right. You know, I would love for them to have been around like in the early 2008 shit, because like they went into Iron Man without a script, without a completed script.
The script wasn't finished. Like Iron Man was a very messy movie. Not that you can really tell, because the end result was pretty fucking good. John Favreau
Spider-Man 2 didn't have a third act.
Great performances. Yeah. No.
Bad.
There are movies that are completely messy going into that like come out pretty fucking good. So even if there are real genuine production issues, you don't know if the movie's going to be a wreck. You just don't. You have to actually watch it to find out.
The one I remember being the biggest deal was Rogue One.
And there are
soon,
definitely like little issues there, but like nothing that indicates a huge wreck.
I mean, I actually believe that there was probably some problems with that movie, you know, based on how it came out. Just because, as much as the second half is really fucking good, there's some stuff like, I don't know, we won't get into it, but I essentially didn't really connect with the characters too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was an issue.
I can see how there was probably some issues.
It's weird, like Andor, and you know they've done a great job with Andor and the series he has now, but like Andor and Jen were the two characters I didn't really care that much about.
Yeah.
Whereas like they had all this supporting cast behind him, and I was like behind those guys.
The fucking robot had more pathos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. K2SO? Yeah. Fucking it's amazing how much I liked Andor, and I didn't get any K2SO because I really want K2SO in that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of information out there about what exactly went wrong specifically with Rogue One. It's not really a secret. Like Dan Gilroy, who went on to make Andor and who was brought in to essentially, make the movie better. And Gareth Edwards as well.
Yeah,
what happened?
It's Tony Gilroy. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Tony Gilroy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Gareth Edwards, I think that was his name. He too has been very open about his shortcomings as a director. And frankly, if you read about the making of that movie, it makes total sense. It was reshot because Gareth came from an independent movie world. Like before he made Godzilla, the 2014 movie, the only movie he had made was Monsters, which is not that great of a movie, frankly, but it is a impressive budget for that budget kind of like thing, So he comes from that sort of indie thing, and he was known for just like literally kind of like doing the Kojima thing, where like if an actor just looks cool for a second, he'll have the camera come and do a setup and shoot it, all this crazy indie movie stuff, and it made this like movie that was incomprehensible. So yeah, Tony Gilroy had to come in and he had to fix it, and Gareth Edwards was totally okay with it. He had no problems, because movies at the end of the day are a team effort, and as much as we give credits to directors, and the case can be made rightfully so, ultimately it takes a shit ton of movies to make a movie, especially on the scale of like the MCU.
Yep. Actually, 75 Aces, only because I'm literally just read that chapter. That's not exactly accurate. Like they had basically two different plans in place because they knew that there was a chance they might not. So basically, they had two paths that they could kind of, pivot whenever they found out for sure if they were going to get Spider-Man or not. But they didn't. I don't think they did a whole lot of reshoots based on that.
All right, I went ahead and moved to the next one. If people want to start thinking, woke actor has Twitter freak out after insane backlash.
So somebody probably tweeted a couple of things and
Probably.
really measured about it and stuff.
Yeah.
Which actor? Isn't it like every
we
actor
won't
that
get to that
isn't
because
Gina
we can discuss that. But yeah.
Yeah, isn't every actor that isn't Gina Carano a woke actor to these guys? It's a pretty wide. Maybe Kevin Sorbo.
There's a couple that aren't woke. There's like Robert Davi and obviously
Chris Pratt.
Gina Carano. Chris Pratt's actually woke now, didn't you hear? He did a Men's Health article where he kind of apologized for a lot of his cringe.
We got some
and
guesses
said,
here.
I need to do some self-reflection.
We got the old RK quarter pounder with heart disease over here.
I'll let you get to it.
Geeks and gamers. Totally the squirtering. Is he a squirter?
All right, so I don't think anybody's getting this one. This is Josiah Rises.
Man, he's always the one who nobody gets.
Yeah, he's kind of a background one, but who's the woke actor? You guys recognize him?
Is that
shit.
Mark Hamill?
Yeah, it's Mark Hamill. The guy who they treat like a patron saint whenever they're talking about Last Jedi because of some, beginning of an interview he did. But now, anything else, it's like, oh, he sucks. It's like, Jesus.
Did you take this screenshot like yesterday or today?
It was yesterday.
So this is a newer video?
Yep.
I want to see what Mark Hamill said. I'm going to look it up.
Mm-hmm. It probably was somewhat measured.
King no one has heard of. Mark Hamill.
He usually has some pretty base takes on Twitter. So
yeah, no, he says some quote unquote woke shit on Twitter all the time. I can see why these guys are upset. It's just weird because they hail him as a hero, especially because of the anti-Ryan Johnson shit he said.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even anti-Ryan Johnson. It was just like he started a story talking about, when I first went in, I didn't really like what they were doing with the character. And then I really liked how it ended up. And everybody just took the first half and ran with it.
Oh,
just like
wow.
they do with all these movies.
Jesus, Mark Hamill. This is pretty embarrassing. Maybe we might have to give the W to Josiah Rises on this one.
Oh no! What'd he say?
Oh no!
So I don't know if you guys saw, but people were mad at Mark Hamill because he liked a tweet from J.K. Rowling, where she said, "I'm more of a woman than," or somebody else had said, "I'm more of a woman than J.K. Rowling would be." Presumably, this is a trans woman that said that, and then J.K. Rowling retweeted and said, "Citation needed," and apparently he liked that tweet. It's not a great look. He responded eventually, "What I liked about this exchange was someone speaking their truth to power. Twitter is, unfortunately, no place for nuance. It's imperative I make this abundantly clear. I support human rights for everyone, regardless of their gender identity, period." Wow, man. Is he okay?
What an asshole, bro.
Yeah.
Look at the capital letters there. He's flipping out.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit, man.
Oh, man.
So dumb, dude.
Honestly,
So that was it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like we've all accidentally liked shit from assholes we weren't aware were assholes at the time. That's just facts.
Yep.
I do think it is kind of cringe that he said, that J.K. Rowling is speaking their truth to power, but yeah. Other than that, he's not an asshole.
I need more context because who is India Willoughby? She's not anyone powerful, is she? It seemed like J.K. would be the one in power at this point.
That's true.
Right?
That's very true.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, but also he's old, man. He's 71 years old. You never know if people are. Yeah. But the point is that the reason that he made it titled it that way, by the way, is so that he could get people to watch, and then he could do some fucking trans panic, trans hateful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. He is openly very Christian, from what I understand. That's what sets him apart from the other guys,
That sets him apart?
So
I guess the other ones are closeted Christians? I don't know. I always got that.
No, it cracked me up yesterday that Nerdrotic had the fucking like the nerve to say that he's not political. Like, what the?
Oh, he loves to say that shit, and then he laughs at the fucking Ruth Bader Ginsburg bobblehead in the She-Hulk
Right.
office that I totally
He
didn't
is
even
a-
see until he pointed out. It's like,
He's a politics channel. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that every fucking stream. Just like these are politics channels.
100%. I mean, yeah, like we pointed out plenty of times, he literally fucking like works with PragerU, dude. Like, what else needs to be said?
it's
Either
DOA.
DOA.
It's DOA. Daredevil Born Again hires failed CW writer to write.
And that's always an indication of these things. Like if a writer who has worked on something that failed, they're just never. I mean, why do they even hire them anymore at that point?
Mhm. Yeah, or
They should
well,
just
a
make them
writer
cook, man.
worked on something that was probably superhero related, and they're probably hired to work on a superhero related project. That sounds insane. Who would do that?
It just cracks me up that what really kind of gets this guy, whoever it is, or this lady, I don't know, angry is like not so much all this, but the writer was hired to write. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
They had the fucking nerve to hire a writer to write. Perfect. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. This one's a little. You're making them harder, Bob.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did get the correct answer on this one in the chat. This is a heels versus babyface. You got it, Red Shot. You got it right.
Right on. Good for you, Red Shot.
Pussy hat.
Oh, this guy. Neil Young is based, or how I learned to stop worrying and quit Spotify.
This is a literal Kubrick reference. Who of these guys would actually watch Kubrick? That's the real question.
Is this Bob, or is this you, Bob? Is this your video?
No.
Yeah, I think this is an organized chaos video. Just
Is
several things.
It's Joe
alarms are
Rogan.
going.
This is a Tim Pool video.
The sound, yeah, I can see that. Let's see. I can't. This one's out of my field for sure. Those damn pink cats and their brainwashing power. Triple K Outpost.
All right, we'll move on because this is one of my less popular videos, but relates to today.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Grifter right there.
Got it.
Good. Got this guy just
All
be
right.
lying all the time.
Last one. Hawkeye flops on Disney Plus for good reasons.
All right,
More
I know
bait
this.
and Switch MCU. More.
I know
Okay,
this one.
I don't know this one. So we're gonna. They need tinfoil like normal people.
It's right there in the. It's right there. The giveaway.
Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna say it then. It's
Oh
too
god,
obvious.
the chat
Like
is
that.
filling up already.
We got it. We're proud of you, chat.
Yeah.
This was an easy one. Yeah.
Flops. Yeah.
The only time I've covered him was about Hawkeye, and yeah, it is frustrating, man. That's why I really never covered it because it's just so obviously dishonest that I'm like, come the fuck on, man. You know, and that's why I was surprised when y'all were telling me that he's supposedly a comics expert, because the video that I covered him was about that, where him saying that basically, you know, that she's a woke, you know, forced character, whatever. It's like, man, she's been around since like 2005 in the comics, since before the woke onslaught of Ghostbusters 2016, you know.
Yeah. When everything
Gary's
changed, when laws changed.
No, Gary's a lying ass motherfucker, dude. Like he lies about he'll lie about literally anything in his fucking channel, dude. And yeah, from what I understand, yeah, he used to own a comic book store. The guy has like an encyclopedic knowledge of comics, so he knows what he's doing. You know?
I would love to test him on that. And
that would be entertaining as fuck to watch, because like he will. The thing is, I guarantee you that he will know all the answers to the questions you ask him, but he won't be able to answer them, because if he does in front of his fucking audience, that's gonna obliterate half the fucking content he could make.
You know, look, let's be. I know this you got stuff planned for Nerdrotic, but I want to be kind of a little gentle today, because thing is, he's going through a lot. He just he's been, I don't know if you guys know, he went through a divorce recently.
Oh shit.
So, you know, it's been really hard on him. You know, it's been really shitty for Doomcock, but you know, it's been hard on both of them. So
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
they went together so well. Like,
Yeah.
like you just look at them, it's like that's a match made in heaven right there.
like they complete each other, you know.
they do. It's like peanut butter and jelly, or you know, toilet brush in the toilet.
They were made for each other in a factory for assholes.
Anyway, no, we're not
have the
even
drop for assholes.
Let's do it.
But so yeah, no, if you've been watching my live streams, I've been watching Nerdrotic. So I'm doing something a little bit different for this Fandom initiative. I have a whole bunch written down, so I'll be reading a bit. But you know, I'm gonna try to sound as natural as possible. So you know, we'll see how this goes. Hello, fellow humans. I am here. No. So I've watched during this week. I watched 5 Nerdrotic reviews, 2 from 2021 and 3 from 2022. They're all based on TV shows. The shows that he covered were Obi-Wan Kenobi, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, Hawkeye, and WandaVision. House of the Dragon is the only one he gave positive review to. There's going to be variations between his one positive review and the negative reviews, but largely he's got a fairly consistent formula, and it's really simple. Neurotic almost always begins his reviews with really dumb, overlong comedy skit, and he did this 4 out of the 5 videos, and the 4 were his negative reviews, and I got a sample here ready to go, and yep.
Something's going to be funny and you say it and then you actually panic about it, which is what I did because fans started guessing who it might be and they were guessing people like Benedict Cumberbatch or Patrick Stewart, and I was thinking, my God, that's a good idea.
I don't know. There are far more people. So there's a lot of vocal people about it, but nowhere near as divisive as, say, Star Wars had been or anything like that. I think generally.
There's a new joke going around. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap!
So yeah, I know I'm right there with you. No, he's awful. Like,
Did I just have a stroke?
It's
What
not
happened?
Even good comedy. That's not even.
It's so inert, dude. You have to be so deep in the lore to even understand half of what's going on in that fucking video, dude.
And
No,
I was an idiot, and I put the headphones on right before that, and that mix was fucking atrocious, dude. Like the kazoo sound was just, oh god.
No, like the Hawkeye thing in particular. It's like he kept on talking about how that final fight in Hawkeye was terribly edited, and I was like, I remember enjoying that quite a bit. What are we talking about? What are we?
Yeah, no, it's just, you know, this guy really kind of like, he's a showman. He really wants to put on a show for his audience. And the thing is that, like, his audience are a bunch of morons, and his best act is going, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
and that's
no,
like
a lot. Like you'll see that a lot when we're going through here. A lot of it is just, I'm gonna go play a goofy sound effect over here.
Yeah.
Don't I own them? It's like,
yeah.
No.
Have you guys read
No.
1984?
Huh?
What?
Have you guys read 1984?
No.
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 Okay, yeah.
I've read some of it, but not enough to say yes, really. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like in that society, the first thing that everybody does when they get to work is they sit down and watch what is called 2 minutes of hate. And it's 2 minutes that the government forces the people to just sit there and watch in a room with nothing else to distract them but the screen. And every single day, it tells them, it's, you know, everything they need to be mad at, who they need to be mad at, why they need to be mad at them. And they do it all in 2 minutes. It works everybody up in their frenzy, and it gets them all, you know, ready to do evil fucking fascist dictator shit, you know? And that's what that shit reminds me of. Like, it's comedic, but it's comedic in the fucking book too. Like, it's kind of the point is to be engaging and fun. But
is
it's
that what
also...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, it's unrelated, really. I was just kind of asking, like, about how that old ad. I don't remember what it was, where like somebody runs in and throws the hammer
the
or
Apple
whatever.
one.
Is that what
That's
that's
part of
related to? Okay,
That's part of it, yeah, because Big Brother is like the sort of deified president, or what the head of the society, and each 2 minutes of hate. And by the way, Mikey J is a fucking 1984 fan. He gets it, yeah. But like, and what I'm saying is, essentially, in the last minutes of the 2 minutes of hate, the last seconds, it's always the face of Big Brother, like holding everyone strong. But like, that's what that is, though. It's literally just quickly, everybody who's tuning in, these are who we're mad at. This is why we're mad at them. Now let's go do some fashy shit,
Oh, we're gonna get deep into that though. We're talking about the intros at this point.
Yeah, I know, dude, but he packed a lot of shit into those 5-pound sacks, man.
Yeah, no, I mean the intros are awful, but like you begin a video with a little comedy bit. That's standard. I've done that billions of times. It's okay, fine. They suck, but okay. Now when he starts his reviews, they're almost always random background information. It's stuff. It's not even stuff pulled from like behind the scenes, like the stuff you'd be interested, like the making of stuff. He doesn't pull from that. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him pull from that.
Yeah.
He pulls from like promotional interviews, business stocks randomly, like grifter websites, like shitting into diapers. He pulls from like all the time. Yeah. Audience score stuff. That's the stuff he pulls from. It's really bizarre. He did this in 4 of the videos out of the 5. He didn't do it for WandaVision. And I'll be blunt. The WandaVision one, I think it was before he fully figured out the formula. But we're going to get a little taste of that right now because we got to get the full Nerdrotic experience. I apologize, guys. This isn't remotely the worst video we're going to handle.
division and replaced him with his own assistant. And the stock tanking is just that cherry on top. And let's not forget that the second word in the very first quote from the very first press release was diverse, epic, diverse, and filled with heart, says J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay in a joint statement. Well, you got one right. It's diverse. Coming up 4,089 days since the release of the last novel in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, A Dance with Dragons. That is over 11 years of Daenerys being trapped in the Dothraki Sea, poor Theon hanging on the beacon tower wall with Stannis. Varys just standing around in Maester Pycelle's quarters after murdering him and Sir Kevin Lannister. Poor Sir Davis sailing up to get Bran Stark from some cannibals, and yes, Jon Snow bleeding out at Castle Black. It's also been 3 years since the biggest television disaster in recent memory.
What was that?
Did he say Sir Davis?
Oh, I don't remember.
Sir Davos. That's
Yeah,
fucking
Davos.
Sir Davis.
Did he say? Oh my God! Did he? Okay,
He did.
now I
That
hate
would be
rewinding
funny.
this, but we might have to go back. Yeah, you are correct. Where's that? Looking for that.
Fucking fake nerd.
Around there, yeah. No, wait, that's not Davos.
Beacon
No,
Tower
but
wall
correct.
with Stannis. Varys just standing around in Maester Pycelle's quarters after murdering him and Sir Kevin Lannister. Poor Sir Davis sailing up to get
Oh my God! You got it.
did!
You
Whoa!
nailed it. Oh my! I can't believe I added that together and totally missed that. Sir Davis.
I don't think he did that on purpose either, because there's no joke there.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a poser! What a phony!
Bran Stark from some cannibals, and yes, Jon Snow bleeding out at Castle Black. It's also been 3 years since the biggest television disaster in recent memory, Game of Thrones Season 8. But oh, how times change. As the Rings of Power plummets in the ratings, and I am free to speculate that since Amazon has been completely silent, and some third-party information has...
I'm honestly surprised that he at least admits that he's making shit up. You know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up Samba TV while this continues. Sorry.
Yeah, there's
It's
not much
confirmed
to
that it wasn't doing that great to begin with.
Yeah, there wasn't much to it. But yeah, no. If you were wondering what his opinions are in the show, you can't watch his intros because, like, if you notice, those intros don't tell you anything about what he thought of the show. It's supposed to be a review.
Yeah.
What is he talking about? oh,
My
this
favorite
had a
part-
poor audience score. Who cares? What do you think?
I mean,
when you
My
I
favorite
think-
part of Ebert and Roper was like when they started off every review talking about what all the other critics said and what everybody said on the red carpet on the lead up to the movie premiere. Yeah,
I remember how Ebert would start, and he'd be like, the important thing to note about a film when you're watching it is what is the studio's stock prices at the time, at that time. Like, what is the red arrow going down or is it going up? Because if it's going down, that's bad, and then that means the movie is probably bad too.
My favorite Siskel and Ebert review was when they spent 5 hours complaining about aliens and how woke Ellen Ripley was as the action hero. That was a great review by them.
That's true. That's very true. I don't have much to add to that.
I actually have an idea for a thing now. I'll tell you guys off air, but yeah, I got an idea.
Right on.
All right, so next, and this is the most exciting part of the whole thing, and by most exciting I mean, oh my God, please let it end. He will do a point-by-point breakdown of the entire plot of the fucking episode. It is so boring just sitting through this.
This is why people fucking don't watch the shows and they think that they watched it, right? Like, this is it.
No,
it makes me super. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it makes me wonder whether he actually understands the purpose of review, because he does this for everyone except WandaVision. And I don't think he has the full formula figured out for WandaVision. But like, the reason for review is to figure out kind of if you want to watch it. It's like, if you're going to go over the whole plot, then that's not a review. That's like something you watch after watching the media.
Yeah.
Like, get some extra thoughts on it. But like, a point-by-point breakdown is useless. What are you doing? But yeah,
right.
We got samples of that. So here we go. Get ready.
Back to Tank, because we haven't seen enough of those in Disney Star Wars series lately. Then we text his wife to look into a company called Sloan Limited, which we find out that Jack is the CEO of.
Then we're off to Driftmark, so poor King Viserys can deal with his biggest political problem, his daughter, and his health is obviously going downhill.
Meanwhile, back in Haradville, remember we had to wait an entire episode to hear that the message from Adar was surrender or die. Well,
then we spend the next 10 minutes mysterious how they're going to break into the Trans-American with Ice King by Jack. We also find out that this space has B-47 and they're used to haul sewage, so that's dicing up the sewage speed. There's nothing like seeing a great actor get a work.
Yeah,
I'm really glad I took my
summed it up
for that.
So we just got summaries of everything, guys. We know everything.
I'm trying to think, what would the purpose be of not giving your real opinion, but just like pretty much he starts out with time-wasting attempts at comedy, apparently, that's just it immediately is like painting it as a negative thing, and then instead of actually reviewing it and like saying what he likes or doesn't, he just goes, first he gets into the meta context of a production. Mm-hmm. So like the reviews, other reviews, the stocks. And then whenever he does talk about it, he goes plot point by plot point and just tells you what happens. What is the purpose of that, do you think?
It's to tell the audience what to think and arm them with talking
exactly.
points.
It's to tell them exactly what to think. They don't have to watch it. They don't have to form their own opinions. I got your opinion for you.
It's fucking programming.
Yeah. No, and honestly, like it's pretty fucking like it shows the lack of respect this guy has, not just for his audience, but for watching any of this shit in general. Because the whole point of a review, good or bad, is to respect the audience's ability to make up their own mind. Like going back to Siskel and Ebert, they never ever in their history spoiled anything about any of the movies they covered, and other critics don't do that.
I could come up with an example where they did, but like it was very rare. It was very I didn't come up with one example. It was a famous one.
Okay, all right. So maybe
one of them one of them really liked something, and another one didn't, and one of them said, "Fuck it, here's the spoiler."
Actually, that does sound familiar. Yeah, no, but like the whole point is like is to respect the audience's ability to make up their own mind, and to respect the experience of the movie, good or bad, the way that the artist intended it. That's why it's criticism and not hate, because you're critiquing the film, not trying to destroy it. But when reviewing with comedy, yeah, dude, Double Toasted fucking rules, 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's right. Exactly. That's the other example of it in a different context, right? It's like you look at content about that shit, and it's not like, oh man, I'm so excited about what this character is gonna do, because I mean, we saw what the characters are about. Nothing. It's all like, oh, we're winning, all the money we're making. So dumb, dude.
I've brought up before, but I used to write for a newspaper. I used to do movie reviews for a newspaper. My rule was anything in the trailer or anything in Act 1, I'll talk about that. Past that, I'm not going to go into story points.
That's good. Yeah. Good way to be.
Yeah, it really just comes down to respect for it, ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that first video that I put up on the Fandom Initiative channel, which everybody should subscribe to, it's at Fandom Initiative. The one, it's like the thumbnail is like, I said scamdom-minish, which is intentionally cringe pun. But it was something like they hate their audience. I put on the thumbnail because they do, man. They hate them. Like, probably more than they actually hate like wokeness and woke people, because you have to really fucking have like a lack of just an utter lack of respect for people to fucking put out this content and knowing that you're fucking grifting, you know what I mean, and knowing that you're just feeding people full of bullshit. It boggles my mind,
especially when it comes to someone like Gary, who literally owned a comic book store, who at some point in his life introduced the entire new group of people to the art of comic books and got them into it and stuff. There was a time where he was an ambassador, not a gatekeeper, you know. So like,
awesome.
The fact that he went from that to essentially, like the sheer amount of cynicism it takes for him to be as dishonest as he is about something that he used to be an ambassador for, just kind of shows just how like completely just what complete assholes these guys are. I can't think of a better word. They're assholes.
I can imagine that, I don't know how long he was in prison. And I know somebody said earlier that, like he's an they were kind of like implying that he's proud ex-felon. I don't think that's a negative thing inherently. There's a lot of people that are felons for fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? And like, and there's a lot of people that are felons for, fucked up stuff that they've like since completely fucking turned themselves around. I don't think that's something that we should just, nail them on. There's plenty of other shit to talk about, but like, I can definitely imagine that depending on how long he was in there, that maybe he just kind of, you fucking grow hardened and cold, and like you're sitting there thinking, man, if I get out of here, I'm gonna fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and so when he did get out, and of course this is all just speculation.
Yeah.
I can totally imagine that being what happened, where he's like, all bets are off now. I'm gonna fucking make my money. I'm gonna do what I need to do, and just like turned his fucking soul off.
Well, he went to prison because he used to be a cocaine dealer and addict and stuff like that. And you are right. There are some people who go to prison and then because they did something fucked up and they rehabilitate themselves, become better people. And I think, and like I said yesterday, I think that there was a period in time where Gary Buechler was a good example of that. But if you view his drug dealing, he used to sell cocaine, and that is a literal drug. But the sort of nerd rage bait that he gives out to his audience, it's not a drug, man, but they are addicted to it. It's something that they come back to over and over again because it gives them sort of that same dopamine rush as, a line of coke does to people who enjoy cocaine.
I've made the argument that like it technically kind of is, just in the same way that like you can get addicted to porn or gambling or whatever, because like it is just the same thing, where instead of a literal chemical, it is you're firing these fucking neurons and these the chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, all this stuff. You're firing them. You hit the play button. You hear them say the buzzwords, say, "Oh, it's woke," and everything that you don't like is doing badly. And these companies that are woke, they're doing badly, and that shit makes these people feel good. And like, yeah, it really kind of effectively is a drug in a way. At least with fucking cocaine. It's pretty simple what it is. You know what you're getting. Like, this is a drug. It's not really good for me, but I'm buying it. You know what I mean? Like,
at least with cocaine, the worst thing you'll do is come up with some really goofy, like unrealistic business ideas and trade them with someone else who's like talking as fast as you are. When you're on the Nerdrotic, you harass people. You fucking like mass downvote shit. You just make talking about this stuff way less fun for everyone else.
You know what just came to mind? There's no way to know this, but can you imagine how many relationships have been ruined from dudes that got into this shit?
Yeah. No, I wonder about that. Like What does
fucking
Nerdrotic
marriages and shit?
What
just
does
like
Nerdrotic's wife think of what he does?
Oh,
I don't care. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the audiences. Like, some dudes in the audience get into it, and then they've just become more fucking cynical and like bitter and misogynistic and shit. Like, I would imagine that there's some number of marriages that have ended just directly because of that, man.
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
Imagine you marry someone because you think they're this, this great person, and then like when you get home, all they want to do is like watch grown men stand in front of like action figures and be like, "Why won't Hollywood give me what I want? It's my stuff. These are my movies. I bought the merch. It belongs to me."
Yeah.
Can you imagine your girlfriend or something is like, "Hey, do you want to go see the new Doctor Strange movie?" No, because it's a bait and switch with Wanda Maximoff. It's gonna be a Wanda Maximoff movie.
Or let's go see it. And then he's sitting there going, "Oh, that's fucking woke." Disney's, like just talking shit through the whole thing. Like, dude, shut up and watch the movie.
I imagine it be like, watch Doctor Strange 2. I already saw it. It's 6 hours long. It's long.
God.
It's got women in it.
Women. Hey, you're women too. Get out of here, you woke up.
Well, anyways, going down on his formula a bit, he'll just wrap it up with a basic conclusion. It's a basic conclusion, wrap up, and he'll usually throw in some more audience scores and shit that doesn't matter, some more interview stuff that doesn't matter. And on paper, this is kind of a standard formula for a lot of, honestly, people who don't really understand how to review movies on YouTube. But whatever. It's popular, so I'll give it that. On paper, fine, sure. I think he's bad at doing it. You shouldn't recap your whole review or the whole show in a review, but. You're just supposed to give people an idea of what it is, but whatever.
He doesn't want them to watch it because watching it will like give them context to stuff that they're not giving or that they're just lying about, right? Like they might be like, "Oh, this isn't so bad," or something. Like no, he's telling you everything so that you got all the plot point, all the stuff that matters. And
and you can go debate somebody, and you won't look like an idiot.
One of the things that I like to add though, that's a common trope for Nerdrotic, and it's not exclusive to him. This is actually something that I had to delete for my live stream, for my supercut that I did, because I just couldn't find a way to set it up well. But essentially, what was I gonna say? Yeah, but another thing that they do is I like to call it the "What about this? What about that?" segment, where they take a break in covering the actual thing they're covering to just remind you, hey, remember this, remember that, remember this, and it's just keep the fuel, the anger fuel burning,
No, we're getting into that because.
My bad.
Oh no, it's fine. No, we're supposed to
context.
Glorious patriarchal past. Yep, 100%. So how did that line come up? What line are you talking about? Robert Hamilton is. Let me see. Oh, art attempting to be a reflection of the real. Oh yeah. No, it's because that's actually that actually kind of fits into what I was saying right now about the sort of what about this, what about that segment. Critical drinker himself. Whenever he's just trying to fill up space in his video and keep the attention, the momentum going, he'll do a what about this, what about that. Where essentially he'll just like point at a movie and be like, this movie is bad because it's art attempting to be a reflection of the real world, or this movie is bad because feminism. And that's what I was going for with that. Yeah. I don't think I set that up as well as I could have, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, I would love to ask these guys, can you point out the piece of art that has no reflection on the real world at all?
Yeah.
I defy you to find that one.
This is why it's going to be really difficult to get guys specifically like him to ever have a conversation with us. Because it's so fucking blatantly false that's like that it's a new thing or something. You look at Star Wars or whatever, like it's all there's everything, virtually everything is in some way inspired by the fucking real world we live in because it's written, created by real people who fucking live in it. Yeah. And
people who have shit to say about what's going on. That's the thing. Like meaningful art, it comes from like a desire for someone to express something. And people who don't feel passionately about society or politics or what have you don't have that impulse. So I mean, maybe that's why Gary doesn't get it, but that is the impetus for all like great art, you know?
Yeah, no, this is all just fucking. It's just a tool for him to, propagandize with his politics. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Well, we've kind of gone over what what Nerdrotic does. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be differences here coming up because not huge differences, but there are differences. He sprinkles something throughout all of the video. It's a specific pattern I've noticed throughout all his videos. He sprinkles it throughout, beginning, middle, end. It's all there.
Yeah.
And you can see if you guys can spot the pattern. This is a big clip, so we can pause it. But yeah, there will be a pattern.
There was some bad, there was some mediocre, and there was some MCU. What's the MCU? You mean aside from Captain Marvel? Well, it started in Ant-Man and Wasp, which should be called Wasp and Ant-Man. Just take a look at that poster. Ant-Man was a buffoon in his entire movie. Then we had the A-Force scene in Avengers Endgame, which was completely ridiculous. Of course, we had that awful Captain Marvel movie, and now we have WandaVision. To round out our plucky little diverse team, we're introduced to Kat Dennings' character from Thor, who I can't even be bothered to remember the name of, and it appears her only existence in this show is to annoy the entire audience. But what we ended up getting was a Disney princess who wants to be a superhero story, right down to the evil fairy godmother who ends up being Kate Bishop's mother. And Haley Steinfeld wasn't that insufferable as Kate Bishop, and she ended up...
Morgan, you know my pain for the past day getting this shit put together. And I apologize for having people suffer through it, but I do think, we can, yeah.
Up not being the worst thing in this series. And because there was a shortage of female characters, we needed to add one more. And in the final 3 episodes of the Kate Bishop show, it even loses focus on Kate Bishop and ends up being an epilogue to that horrible Black Widow movie that lost money. Our series stars Haley Steinfeld as the very capable and strong Kate Bishop, a Hawkeye fangirl who's also a highly decorated athlete and master archer who runs like a duck. The rest of the cast is rounded out with Eleanor Bishop, Kate's mom, the strong and capable head of a security company in New York. Echo, or Maya Lopez, the very strong and capable leader of a group of white male simpletons known as the Tracksuit Mafia. And this is the point where I turn off the episode and head on over to IMDb to see if my suspicions are true, and they are. The writers of this episode, Heather Quinn and Aaron Consino, have 0 writing experience. Kate Bishop gets jumped by Echo in her apartment, and Clint gets jumped by a mysterious figure. That mysterious figure is Florence Pugh from Black Widow.
So this is a hell of a clip. Are we noticing a pattern yet?
Yeah. A couple moments there that stand out.
Yeah. There's a couple, but yeah.
It just because because I'm gonna do this because I'm reading the fucking books, but like the whole thing about the writers with no writing credits, that may be true, that they may not have any produced work, but as I've been learning in these books, they have essentially like an incubator within the MCU where they'll take people who are applying for jobs, writing and shit. They're like for being a big studio, they're constantly looking out for fucking young refined talent, and they kind of like give them a fucking chance. They've got a whole bunch of writers that's how the Guardians of the Galaxy script came along, was Nicole Perlman. She was just one of the many people that they said, here's some characters, whichever one you want to write about it, just give us a pitch. And she hadn't really written anything before, you know what I mean? And then she came up with the original draft of Guardians, and then James Gunn came along and he did didn't really change a lot, he added some stuff, and that's the first Guardians movie. And like, to think that just because they don't have any fucking produced work as a writer is fucking stupid. And it's been proven wrong that because it's gonna God damn.
The thing is, these guys know that their audience either are unemployable or are too young to actually have jobs legally, right? So they understand that like their fans don't know how shit works, But and I'll break this down because I know we have one Nerdrotic fan here in the chat, but I'm just going to break it down right here. Yeah. Adam Friended or whatever. Yeah. So it's, and I get it. Like, you guys don't get how shit works, but everybody has to start somewhere. right? And even like Quentin Tarantino wasn't born and was like destined to ascend to cinematic royalty or something. He had to make a movie, and then he got hired. He got his movies got funded by studios, right? A good writer has to get a writing job first to develop their craft in the industry, and then they become a good writer. You know, like it's not that fucking rare. It's a stupid thing to knock on anyone. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just addressing the whole not having writing credits thing. These big studios are looking for young talent because number one, the young talent might have a Spielberg in there, and number two, Spielberg's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So you look for the young talent. You learn from
and Spielberg can make demands, creative demands. Young talent cannot.
Yes.
That's another big thing. These are producer-driven films. Also, it cracks me up that Gary, of all people, is sort of knocking one of these shows for having a character be that Kate Bishop lady's mother and all that, and also for Florence Pugh's character from Black Widow popping up. And it's like, do you not understand? Like, this is we're like 20, 30, we're like almost 30 movies into the MCU. They're all interconnected, man. Everything is connected. They're all cross over into each other. Like, and sometimes they're gonna cross into each like women's fucking plot lines. What's up with that? You know?
Yeah, I know it's crazy. We'll watch a little bit more. We'll see a bit more of a pattern because I do think there's an importance to actually like watching a lot of this because then it's like kind of unignorable.
Yeah.
Could forget Florence Pugh from Black Widow. Oh, I guess a lot of you did because Black Widow lost money. And it takes a hard left turn. The bait and switch Hawkeye show that ends up being the Kate Bishop show turns into an epilogue for Black Widow. So maybe I got the entire theme of Black Widow wrong. I thought it was freeing the women of subjugation so they can go live normal and happy lives, not killing people. No. It's just to free them from the male subjugation. They're still going to kill people. They just don't want men telling them to do it. Female empowerment. Yep, it's a little girls' night out. They get to know each other a little bit. Then Yelena says she's going to kill Clint and tells Kate to stay out of her way and leaves. Aside from them dialing up the MCU in the final 3 episodes, they're just boring. What makes this more ridiculous and straight up cartoonish is Yelena tells Kate Bishop that her mother hired her. Like, why the hell would she do that? Because they're friendsies and they had mac and cheese together? Hands and having the
God, that's borderline.
I tell you, dude, it's just trying to be it's just trying to be as absolutely obnoxious as possible. By the way, so I'm guessing this video came out months and months after Black Widow, right? Came out.
Oh yeah.
Dude, just like imagine how petulant you got to be 2 months after that movie came out to still try to make hashtag Black Widow lost money. Like try to make that a thing in your video and in your community, dude. Like, just like imagine that seeing that shit on Twitter. Like, what else is anybody gonna think? But who fucking cares? That movie came out like a year ago. Like, it's so
I just
weird.
wanted to point out, guys, we've hit a milestone. All right. Well, first of all, we got about 100 people watching. By the way, like and subscribe whichever channel you're watching on. But let's see, this is big. We got Adam friended in chat. Anytime this dude shows up to start talking shit in your comments or your chat, it means that, you know, he's kind of worried about you. Like, you're saying stuff about his buddies that he's running defense for him. You know, he tries to pretend like he's not so, you know, he's a little bit more neutral or whatever, but no, he's firmly in these guys' camp, as well as like Comicsgate and so on. So if he shows up, you're doing something right. So
hi, Adam.
He's a big piece of shit.
Hey,
by the way, you notice that they all do that? Have you noticed that they all try that? Like, they all come on trying to be like, well, you know, I'm just a neutral party. Like, I like Nerdrotic, but I want to hear out what you say. But they always, there's always like a glorious moment where they absolutely give themselves away. Like Cypher, your debate with Cypher, like the second he goes mask off and like starts asking about your childhood dreams for the first time, that was one of the most like that's all these motherfuckers moments like ever right there.
yeah. Vicky confirmed it. As a matter of fact, Adam Friend is showing up to my video about Ethan very early on in my channel. I didn't really understand why he was doing that. I'd heard of him before, and I went to my buddy who's been a YouTuber a while. I was like, why commenting on, I'm like a tiny nothing channel. And he was like, that means you're on the right track. And that was my first indicator to like, okay, I'm doing good shit here. So yeah, take it for what it is.
If you want to talk screenwriting, I'm ready. Why, Adam? Are you a screenwriter or something, bro?
What?
If you're a screenwriter, why are you running defense for shows on YouTube, dude?
Yeah. If you want to talk, why don't you talk screenwriting to Gary here? Why don't you talk screen?
Yeah, why don't you like after the or tell Pete why these motherfuckers like conflict is an expected and necessary thing in a story, man. Austin Chu was so fucking funny.
No, that my very first debate ever. That's memories. That's memories. And it's memory.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Heck, Adam, when are you gonna debate me? What's up with that, dude?
Yeah, didn't you like reply to them and give him your information after he challenged you or something? And
yeah, I gave him.
They never got back to you, right?
Nothing. Yeah. What's up with that, dude? You're hanging out here. I assume. What, did you lose my info? Like I'll type it right in chat right now.
Or you know me, dude. Like if you ever want to debate me, check out my channel, Pop Counterculture. I'd be happy to do so.
But yeah, we gotta see some more. Obviously, not sexism.
I never got it.
Plenty more.
Power to summon Julia Louis-Dreyfus's goofy Madam Hydra to hire a Black Widow assassin. That is
Kate, you're my partner.
I'm gonna come
here. In the meantime, Clint Barton and Yelena fight to a cry-off.
I love you so much.
And because it's been a while since Kate Bishop has been praised, Clint Barton tells her,
how about we have you on? Why do it's not like a fucking honor to go on your piece of shit show where you're like running defense for thugs.
We will talk about it because I have conditions, but they're super reasonable. So we'll have no problem clearing that out. I've even discussed this the conditions on the stream last night.
All right, fair enough.
I like how this guy wants to talk screenwriting, but as soon as we push back on it, he can't even tell us something that's been produced that he wrote. Come on now, Adam.
I've watched a movie before.
I have unproduced screenplays too, motherfucker. I'm not out here trying to talk like I'm a screenwriter and shit, dude.
Yeah.
Can I DM you? Can DM me on Twitter. What? You can't email me. You can't find me on Twitter. It's a public. You sought me out, dude. Like.
Put out some effort besides just trolling in chat, dude. Like, do something, okay? Like, nobody wants to come to you. You're not some big draw. Like,
you got my email address. Literally type in the email, and then let's debate, and then I will reply. It's that simple.
She makes him better. I can't help but wonder what Clint's wife thinks about something like that. Well, I could tell you what my wife and any other wife would do in this situation if I was hanging out with some 22-year-old hottie decorating Christmas trees, mixing drinks, and telling her she makes me better. We'd wake up on fire. And Hawkeye ends up being just as bad as Loki, the classic bait and switch. But that's been 2021, the year of the MCU, a year of identity politics, intersectional feminism, critical race theory, fanfic dialogue, character deconstruction, bait and switch, and lots of girl bosses. And it ain't over yet. Next year, we've got Echo, Miss Marvel, and female Thor. And I'll ask Kevin Feige directly again, if you have so much faith in the female characters, why do you have to resort to the bait and switch? So little 10-year-old Leia, who runs like a toddler but was still able to outrun full-grown adult species, gets kidnapped even though she shouldn't be in this show at all.
You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. What does bait and switch mean?
The way these guys use it, I have no fucking idea. Like I can guess what's supposed to mean, but like the way they use it, it never applies in the context.
No, it comes off like when they say that they're replacing characters. It's like, so you just don't know what words mean, and you're just saying shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, he says.
I don't know if you can say the replacing characters where he's literally right there throughout the entire.
They said it about Obi-Wan too, where they're like, it's
it's
about
Reva's
Reva.
show, even though Obi-Wan has like way more screen time, like at least more than twice as much, probably way more than that. I mean,
yeah, no, I guess bait and switch means whenever a woman is shown being competent at a thing.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's whenever I think they mean it whenever it's like this character is a fully fleshed out character that's like, got a personality, and they spend more than a fifth of the screen time on her, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
they present a challenge to the main character, which is the last thing anyone should do to a character in a story.
I'm pretty sure they called WandaVision a bait and switch as well, and it's like she was the first name in the title, and Vision was dead going into it. What did you expect?
Yeah, exactly. She's what a stupid fucking thing to say. What the fuck?
All these events in the first 3 episodes conspired to create more contradictions than the Amber Heard defense. Of course, at the end of the 3rd episode, little Princess Leia gets kidnapped again by Reva, played by the master thespian Moses Ingram.
Obi-Wan is dead.
See the whole she can't act thing.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things where it's like, what are you talking about? Like, number one, you're just pulling a random line out of nowhere, and what was even wrong with the delivery of that line? I am so confused.
Yeah, the lack of context just makes it so that like you can project anything you want, and if someone is telling you that this is bad acting, like what else? If you're not watching critically, are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, there's nothing like seeing 2 great actors play off each other, like Walken and Hopper in True Romance, or De Niro and Pacino in Heat. And you get the exact opposite with this interrogation scene between Moses Ingram.
Oh yeah, well,
yeah.
You're talking about Walken and Hopper, and then fucking De Niro and Pacino, and then they're like, anything compared to pretty much that 2 sets of actors is gonna fucking pale in comparison, you moron.
Well, also, we're talking about an interrogation of a child. Like, what the fuck are you?
She should be more like De Niro, man. She should really fucking be into that De Niro.
No, go for the Walken Hopper thing. Wasn't Hopper losing fingers in that thing? Let's cut off some Leia.
The thing is that like none of the people who make this shit wake up in the morning trying to be better than any fucking classic movie or one of the greatest works of all time, man. And that's like such a stupid standard to walk in like into any movie expecting, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it actually reminds me. It actually does remind me about something. Hold on one second here. It is really important. Okay, it's really important. Just because we haven't been able to use this yet, but it's really important. So yeah, comparing that to it's just making up standards, almost like it's the goalposts have gone wild.
Video contains adult content not suitable for children.
That's so wild. It's so.
Vivian Blair. I don't know why I keep trying to apply logic to the show, but instead of using this interrogation scene to maybe learn more about this brand new character, Reva, the formidable inquisitor who's having trouble breaking a 10-year-old, nope, it's predictable, it's by the numbers, and it just serves as filler as Obi-Wan bumbles around the Trans-America building. And no, I don't know why Reva runs like she's got a bad back. By the way, Reva took out Wade's sewage speeder by...
I mean, I just gotta point out, I she just was running normally.
No, why Reva runs like she's got a bad back.
I was hung up on the she's having trouble breaking a 10-year-old. My mind immediately goes, Gary wouldn't have any problems breaking a 10-year-old. But
God,
I'm just speculating. It's just speculation. Okay.
By the way, Reva took out Wade's sewage speeder by flinging a car battery at him, but I guess she didn't need to do that with all the other sewage speeders. It'll be fine. Then this show goes full Loki because, yes, I'm getting some serious Sylvie vibes from Reva. Abandoned to die as a child, taught herself all these force powers to infiltrate a giant organization only to destroy it. Leia not only fixes her droid, which simply had a restraining bolt on it, she also fixes the door, and I'm surprised she didn't say, I bypassed the compressor. And surprise, surprise, Disney Star Wars fans were once again sold a bill of goods. Classic, vintage, signature Disney bait and switch. They were sold Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you got Tala and Reva. There most certainly is an interesting Obi-Wan Kenobi story to tell.
Yeah, I mean, Reva probably, I don't know, towards the end there's a lot of Darth Vader, but I kind of assume Reva probably had more screen time than Darth Vader, but like not more than Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan dominated that series. Like, the bait and switch argument for pretty much all these series is garbage. You know, what, maybe Hawkeye, but even Hawkeye, like Kate Bishop is a Hawkeye. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, to act like that one was in particular. I have my video loaded up. I'm not gonna make us watch it, but like I went off on him about that because acting like she's some new character that's been forced into, you know, this position or whatever, and it's like, man, everything about her is laid out in the comics and has been for over a decade, and you know, it actually gives more context for why she's a badass when we meet her than it did for Clint Barton. You know, like there's no other reason for him to make these kinds of, you know, be upset about it except for fucking just sexism, and like there's no other reason.
Well, I mean, you know, it's part of why. Like, here's the deal. Why I think it's kind of important to go through these clips, even though I understand there's a lot. There's a lot. But here's the deal. Even if you look at a couple of these clips and you're like, oh, you know, I think that's a fair complaint. Maybe a couple. Just the overwhelming amount of the shit he's throwing here. And this is his primary thing that he does on his channels. This is 10 minutes of clips I was able to get from 4 videos.
Yeah, he's just like, he basically, if you're watching this, you're going to find something that you can latch onto, because, you know what I mean? If you're in his audience, you're not, nobody's going to retain all this dumb shit he's saying, but there's going to be something in there that his audience is going to, you know, catch. Oh yeah. And then that's the thing they're going to repeat in comment sections. That's the thing that they're going to regurgitate ad nauseum, you know, just because that's the one that connected with them. Yeah, that's why he does all these references. He puts Ray in there. He mentions Ray. He puts in, you know, like there's all these things that are meant to hook into somebody's mind, and man, it's fucking grifty.
No, I did think it was hilarious. The number of people I was able to get in my comments saying, "Well, Ray sucks because she's a woke character," and I was like, "Really? What makes her woke?"
She's a woman,
and then they did not want to answer that.
I don't know if you guys touched on this, but you're absolutely right, Dane, and that's why it's important for Gary to repeat himself so often, because if, you know, one of those talking points doesn't stick on this video, it will, one of them might on the next one, and eventually they adopt all of them.
Is this dude really here to like defend Nerdrotic? Is that what this is about? Like, I mean, I know that you changed the terms to be about screenwriting, and now it's, yo, what's your screenwriting book? Just arbitrary bullshit. Like, what's your favorite book, man? Just knowing a book doesn't mean anything. Like, are you going to defend Nerdrotic? If that's what you're planning to do, that's pretty interesting, man.
If you want to talk about the basics of screenwriting, I don't know, like that's what a fucking cop out, dude.
Is he here to argue that Nerdrotic knows screenwriting really well, and that's
no. We're going too easy on the guy. We're going too easy on the guy. This guy is a little pussy, man. Like, just straight up, because he comes in here, right? He comes into all your guys' fucking chats ready to talk about specifically fucking like Nerdrotic and all these guys that he defends, right? Because that's what he's really here and interesting to do. But he knows that if he were to actually talk about that in person with you guys, he's gonna look like a fucking idiot.
Well, that's why he hasn't addressed a single thing we've actually said here.
Exactly. That's why he's trying to deflect. He's trying to.
And I don't know if this is a troll or what, dude. I hope it is, because I'm sure maybe you're not aware that that's like high school level, junior high level fucking screenwriting shit right there, dude.
For real. And honestly, dude, like what a little bitch though. Honestly, like he knows that honestly, bro, if you're gonna come over, if you want to talk about what the fucking subject is, dude, like honestly, and like reading fucking screenwriting books doesn't make you a screenwriter or an expert at anything either, dude. Show me what you produced, homeboy. Then we'll talk.
He produces a bunch of content where him and his buddy like run defense for, you know, Grifter chuds.
Yeah, and I will send you an email after the show.
He produces disappointment is what he does.
He produces garbage, fucking bad takes.
Like, he even disappoints us, dude. Like, he comes into the comments ready to like be all like all fucking ready to like defend Nerdrotic, and when it comes down to it, he's like, "Oh well, you know, I wasn't really trying to talk about Nerdrotic. I want to talk about screenwriting."
Yeah. You produced a short on YouTube.
I fucking directed fucking.
Good for you. Good.
I produced like a dozen shorts on YouTube, so I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Bro, the amount of like effort this guy to get full of his own shit, dude. Like, just one. I made 6 fucking shorts, homie. Wrote, directed, produced, edited, scored all of them. You see me fucking out here trying to be like, I'm an expert in filmmaking. Go fuck yourself, man.
All right, we got some more keen, insightful critiques from
Very
Gary.
much so. Very much so.
Which can involve Darth Vader without them meeting. But did it really need Reva or Tala? Has Reva added to this story? Has she added to the character of Darth?
It's just such a weird thing. Yes, the Obi-Wan Kenobi story will have supporting characters, and it will typically have new characters because it's a new entry in the Star Wars franchise. Name an entry in the Star Wars franchise that has no new characters. That's a challenge.
Darth Vader? Has she complimented the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi or just taken screen time?
There is a tempest in me.
Guy Ladriel was being insufferable. Guy Ladriel still being insufferable.
13-year-olds, isn't it? This is content for fucking 13-year-olds.
You know what I just realized? Has Gary ever made a joke? Like his own actual joke? Has he ever said a funny thing?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. Has he ever taken it to a punchline all by himself?
Yeah, has he ever actually been funny? Like, I don't think out of all the videos, like, I've never seen him like crack a joke or anything. Like, he literally is just, his whole shtick is just like cutting to things that are already funny and putting people he don't like on different actors' faces. What an amateur, dude.
Well, you can't be handsome and funny. You know what I mean? Oh, no, wait.
Oh, wait.
Adam, you defend this guy who can't even like craft his own fucking joke? That's what you're defending, homeboy? Why should I listen to you about anything else if that's what you think is defensible? Come on, man.
Yes.
Well, I gotta let my dog.
And girl boss Bronwyn is going to get her big girl boss moment with a big girl boss speech.
I know I'm not the king you have awaited, but if you choose to stand with me and fight, this tower will no longer be a reminder of our frailty, but a symbol of our strength. Who will stand with me? Who among you will stand and fight?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, head of the Tolkien Society, Sean Gunner, wasn't kidding when he
He's a comedy writer. What have you written, buddy? And like, and you're still here to defend Nerdrotic as a comedy writer? God, dude, you're only making yourself look worse, dude. You make yourself look terrible.
Honestly, why would I want to fucking like see comedy from a guy who thinks like putting the faces on people you don't like the peak of comedy? Like, what the fuck, homie? Oh, by the way, I like the fact that he produced one fucking skit for YouTube, and I'm a comedy writer, bro. Come on, now.
I'm gonna look up his credits. I'm gonna look up his credits. Go ahead. I'm gonna look up his credits. We can watch this.
Yeah. Well, thought process came up with a good point that Gary is a joke. So there's something to be said for that.
It ironically tweeted that the Rings of Power will pass the Bechdel test. Goes to visit Guy Ladriel and Queen Regent Muriel. Remember Queen Regent Muriel? She gave such a powerful speech last episode that I completely forgot it. You know, the one that was picked by her people to be Queen Regent. Well, apparently, she's a battle commander, too. I think the character of Muriel beautifully encapsulates everything wrong with this show. Yes, she was from the lore. Yes, she was destined for the throne of Numenor, but it was taken when Ar-Pharazôn forced her into marriage. She never was a Queen Regent. She never was a battle commander who went into battle. She never met Galadriel. But what they needed was another girl boss, because this show is short on them. That reminds me. Get some forced argument between Halbrand and Guy Ladriel. I know I said that last week with the Guy Ladriel escape. Well, Guy Ladriel trains Numenorians. To describe how ridiculous this is, it's like the Virgin Mary training Spartans. I didn't think it was possible, but to make things worse, they have Elendil the Tall, who in the books is 7'11" and one of the fiercest Numenorian warriors, ask Guy Ladriel to train his men. Oh, sorry, and women, or woman. Oh my God, she might be not.
Imagine thinking that like a fucking ancient elf that's like, I think she's like 1,000 at that point in the show.
Yeah.
That she might have like a little bit of fucking experience that she could pass on to like human beings who have a much shorter lifespan.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude.
It's just woke. That's all it is. The only explanation is woke and Guy Ladriel. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
That's his idea of a joke. That's a joke to Gary.
Yeah, that's his joke.
Yeah.
That's his punchline right there. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like if you think that's funny, dude, like isn't it a little bit past your bedtime right now? What's your fucking time zone, dude?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nothing but media. They would talk about that. They have to
The
find
only thing more. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the only thing more pathetic than the shit Gary's saying is if, like, you know, there was somebody that showed up on a random stream to fucking defend the shit that Gary's saying.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah, can you
not
imagine
only,
like
finding-
listening to all this crap that Gary's saying
Bro.
and being like, yeah, no, I defend that.
Dude,
That's
could
good
you-
shit. That's good.
Could you imagine like not only finding this funny, like having to live with that like shame and guilt, but then letting other people know you find this funny and quality? Could you imagine being that fucking person, dude? Wow.
So the reason that he's mispronouncing it that way in particular is because he's like, you know, he's making it sound like a Guy Ladriel, because she's a badass. She's a badass in the show, you know, and it doesn't contradict anything that we know about her, and it doesn't contradict anything in the books. And anybody who says that it does is, you know, just repeating bullshit they heard. You know, but because she's badass and can fight, basically, because she's headstrong. You know, that means she's a guy. Because only men can have those fucking characteristics.
You know what's kind of insane, and you know, Adam Friend did as a wannabe writer. I think you might understand the insanity of this, right? Is that he always calls Galadriel Guy Ladriel, and he always refers to the elf as Don Lemonless, right? Always does that. Always says the MCU. Always says you know what I showed in my video about Riri Williams and Shiri, right? Like, you know, all that bullshit he says. Think about the fucking madness of that, right? Because you know this guy actually writes like what he wants to say, the fucking actual like thing that he's trying to get across. And then you know this motherfucker does a fucking pass where he goes and changes every time he says their names right to fucking Guy Ladriel and to fucking or Don Lemonless, dude. Like the insanity of that. Like
if it wasn't for just like the barest minimum of fucking terms of service, I'm pretty sure he would be calling her the T slur.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the fucking mask off thing he's trying to say, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, yeah, you're right, Archmage. I'm an idiot. See, I don't know anything, man. I didn't even catch that other part. It's layered. It's layered. Guy Ladriel. It's two of them in there.
God damn. You know, if he put as much effort, like if Gary put as much effort into being a fucking like a fucking bigoted asshole and like into any positive thing in his life, he would be such a cool dude. You know, like he would be a cool guy. But no, this is what he wastes his life on: a tragedy and a comedy.
I mean, he makes money. I don't know if it's a waste, but you know, it's just not a life that I would want to fucking live and make money at.
Yeah,
we almost got this. We can do it.
I'm binary. And what's Guy Ladriel, the girl Barian's warrior, the waste?
There are many ways to kill an orc. But for you, I will keep it strong and simple. Stab, twist, gut.
Well, duh. The acting was awful. The editing was terrible, and you can tell they were trying to hide Morphin Clark as much as possible, having her walk behind giant beams or conveniently get blocked by somebody or cut away. I mean, what the heck?
I just want to go ahead and say that's very common because you know you have stunt people for fights. You know.
It's way more common than not. Like it's actually notable whenever there is an actor who can also do a lot of this shit.
That's actually the
Tom Cruise is a big like exception,
and not everybody's that suicidal.
Yeah, no.
Hell is this? I mean, this is just embarrassing. And then she gives terrible advice.
Swordsmanship is about balance rather than strength. Fight with your feet, not your arms.
What are you, fucking stupid?
Oh,
okay, so
don't fucking bring Carlin into this.
Number one, I don't like bringing Carlin. Number two, what's stupid about what she just said?
He's taking it literally.
When you only like do 2 seconds, you can say that about anything. When you only take like 2 lines, 2 sentences of someone's life, you can ask that. Yeah. It's fucking shooting fish in a barrel. This is so like unabashedly manipulative. It's wild anybody falls for this.
Don't plant roots. Keep moving. Never trust brute force to best an orc.
So does he think that? Sorry,
and in there.
Okay.
Does he think that was all Aragorn did was brute force right there? Is that the only thing that Aragorn just did?
Yeah. No. Well,
fuck no, it wasn't.
Of course not. No, but
it was
also
balance.
Like,
it was fucking. It was it was strategy. It was like all the shit she's saying.
Yeah. Well, even if you want to say, that is that was brute force. Even if you want to say Aragorn just went brute force and that's how he won. All she's saying is that that's not a good strategy. And it wouldn't be. So
I'm pretty sure that at that moment he was also in a rage, right? Didn't they think that the hobbits were dead at that point?
Pissed. Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that the person who always comes out, on a fight is someone who just goes in without a plan or any idea of what they're doing. That's just like most wars have been won by just kind of winging it. That's how we won World War II.
Yeah, definitely.
You're still here, like.
Right? I thought we scared you off a while ago, bro. What the fuck?
Oh man.
We know you're gonna. Hey, Adam, make sure to like and subscribe to stream, dude.
Please do. And I'm sorry. Don't be mad at Robert, but Bob for me. Like if you guys end up debating, don't take it out. I realized I was an asshole. I'm sorry, man. I'm not sorry.
I'm fine. You can take it out on me. I'll relish it.
It's like punish me. He's like, you've already dealt with Ethan Van Sciver's rage at me, so at this point you're
like the repurposed
battle tank.
Hacks these fools are, but they also give Galadriel an opportunity to mention her Incidentally, we're just 2 episodes away from finding out that Celeborn is indeed dead. The reason he's dead in season.
Quick correction. He wasn't dead. He was just missing.
He wasn't.
So, yeah.
1 anyway is because they didn't want to rob Galadriel of her agency and they wanted to ship her with Halbrand. #Thorondriel. And they're going into battle against a legion of orcs with 300 cosplayers and 2 girl bosses. The worst lead in living memory. Crap costumes, crap props. But they did manage to be diverse and pass the Bechdel test. They just forgot to be good.
So yeah, no, I know that was long, and I want to apologize to everybody because
I don't
imagine me
you.
having to edit through all of that. But yes, there was a theme to all of that. There was a specific thing he was doing. Did you catch it?
He's a genius, and we just don't get it.
Yeah, he's trying to appeal to sort of
next level.
Yeah, he's trying to bring all these sort of filmic like terms into his sort of discourse, but like it's also so subjective, and it's all like literally his critique of the fighting scene. He's literally criticizing people for like not having degrees of what's the word I'm looking for here. God. When you know something, forget it. I forgot what I was trying to say.
Well,
no, I mean,
you
were on spot. You were doing it.
I mean, he was criticizing people for something specific. The specific thing was having a vagina.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. That's definitely
anything to make fun of somebody who's a woman.
Yeah.
And out of all the stuff that we watched, when he's talking about women in particular, it's very specifically, he goes harder on thought terminating cliches. Essentially, he's just, I should have made note, but yeah, he was like, just
strong,
saying things.
Independent woman, No.
I mean, not even that. Like the less obvious stuff is what I was noticing after a while. Is how he'll like, man, I don't know. I have to watch again, but it was. It was noticeable. I'm not gonna watch it.
No, the thing is that, like he does so much of like this shitty thing that he starts doing other shitty things like in the service of that, and like he's definitely focusing on women, but I think more importantly what he's doing is he's trying to like criticize the quote unquote filmic aspects of it, but the way that he presents it is so out of context and so devoid of like any like contrasting or element that like. Yeah, like if I just show you this, right? This fucking Clarmex right here. I'm like, look at this shitty production design, and then put it down.
Yep.
Like who's gonna disagree with me?
Oh yeah, no, that's his whole review style.
A platform in the most dishonest, irresponsible way you can, just like in using the implied authority of having a fucking YouTube channel that and just like this is bad, it sucks. And then people, certain people will go, "Oh, well, he said it," so but I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. I'm good. I'm just.
No, it's not even like certain people. Like we've seen time and time in our interactions, both on camera and off with their fans, that they don't generally watch this shit. Their version of watching media is watching these guys bitch and cry and complain and moan about not being the center of the fucking universe, man. Like, and they don't even see it because they do that sort of deceptive shit that we're talking about. But ultimately, break it all down, look at it really just in terms of mechanics. It really is just like crying about not being the center of the universe. And when you're a fan and you watch this, you're just taking on that exactly same personality, and everybody sees it.
Yeah, no, he just takes the woman, puts them in the worst light, mocks them. That's all he's doing. That's his whole channel, probably for the past couple years. And there's other bigotry scattered throughout, but like what I found was way less. Like it's all on the sexism angle, all of it. It gets insane. But I didn't cover the House of the Dragon because that's actually kind of interesting.
Yes. Why's that? What's interesting about that? He just loved that. Like he was really excited about it and looking forward to it, and then it came out and he loved it. Is that what happened?
Yeah. Well, I'm not even getting into that. I'm 100% judging this strictly on just watching these reviews. This is all based on just those reviews. So there's one scene I think that's noteworthy. It's only one scene. So, you can take it as it is, but I do think it's noteworthy what he says in this scene.
On the boat ride back to King's Landing, and oh my God, this reminds me of the hashtag boat sex from Game of Thrones. I still got GOT PTSD. Sir Criston Cole basically tells Rhaenyra that he's willing to give up his entire life as a Kingsguard and take off with her off to Essos, where they can go live free and love free, and she said, I have a career. Sir Criston Cole was under the delusion that he could make up for breaking his vows by taking off with Rhaenyra and marrying her. Now, of course, that was never going to happen. And quite frankly, Rhaenyra should have said yes to him in this situation.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, dude.
Yeah. I found that very interesting.
What did I must have missed it. I'm sorry.
The way he phrased that was wild.
The way he drops it right in there. Like,
Can you play that part again?
She's supposed to be, she's supposed to, here. Yeah.
Or you can just tell me, it's fine.
Basically.
Rhaenyra and marrying her. Now, of course, that was never going to happen. And quite frankly, Rhaenyra should have said yes to him in this situation.
Essentially, he's criticizing her for. I'll let you down.
She's supposed to be heir to the throne. She is the heir to the throne. And then, this knight who's working with her, who she's sleeping with, says, "Hey, run away with me." And Gary's response is, "Yeah, she probably should have done that." It's just a very interesting take.
Why should she have done that? Because she's too powerful, and or just like.
Well, she's a woman. Why is she out there trying to have a job and a career path for herself? When she should be marrying fucking princes and running off into the east or whatever the fuck, dude. Like, yeah, and it's very telling because I thought you were going somewhere else with this, Bob. I thought you were gonna show how because what I noticed in his at least in his episode 1 review of House of the Dragon is that his quote unquote positive reviews are like 2 minutes of him being. Yeah, no, the costume design was pretty good, but then they turned the house black, and it's like
there's lots of that. I'm basing it just on these videos, though. So yeah,
right. But what's interesting too, though, even in that video about the very first episode, he is criticizing the show for making a whole thing about how Rhaenyra's mother. Her needs are the baby's needs, and then a scene where the entire subtext is that nobody cares about her as a woman and only as her ability to give birth, which pays off later on in the show with one of the most horrific fucking things in the Game of Thrones universe. He really is crazy sexist, and I bet you he wouldn't be like this if he had a daughter, dude. I doubt it.
Well, no, that's the thing. Even in the positive review, the sexism's still there. It's just, he has to be a bit more nuanced about it. He has to be a bit more subtle because this is a good show. The other shows are bad, but this is the good one. And it's like, okay,
But yeah, he couldn't even hold it back completely in this case. Like even whenever he's trying to be good faith about the show, which he's not about the other ones, the sexism still slips. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we got a couple scenes that are interesting. He's going to talk about white men here. So.
He's about to get
the scheming and pragmatic former hand calls his daughter out for not picking him over Rhaenyra, even though he put her in that position, and he explains to her that the minute Rhaenyra's ass hits the throne, she will put her kids to the sword, so she needs to raise Aegon as a ruler and get ready. And he's not wrong, and he even explains that Rhaenyra wouldn't have a choice.
So he's defending Otto Hightower, which if you've seen that show, Otto Hightower's a pretty shithead.
Yeah.
But that's not even the worst example.
Yeah.
Of him defending just white guys doing bad things, and he's going to defend them. But here's like you guys are familiar with House of the Dragon, right?
Yeah. In the show, that's full of like morally ambiguous characters.
Yeah, no.
The most ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going. This next scene is fucked up the way Gary presents it.
Oh boy,
nice.
Daemon Targaryen, and we're finally introduced to his lady wife, Rhea Royce, the bronze bitch. She's one of those trademark George R.R. Martin tomboy Arya type characters. Believe me, his books are filled with them. She decides to go riding off alone, which turns out to be not such a wise decision. Her second unwise decision was antagonizing Matt Daemon Targaryen. While antagonizing Matt Daemon Targaryen, she figures out that he's there to try to kill her, and then he tries to kill her. Or does he? While that was probably his intent, there is some plausible deniability here. And while he does eventually finish her off, it could also be interpreted as a happy accident.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
That led to a mercy killing.
See, he's like layering the murder. He's like talking about Matt Damon. God fucking damn it, Gary. He's talking about Daemon Targaryen killing his wife and taking her throne.
He just said that he probably intended to, and then so basically a happy accident means
maybe
that
he didn't.
He got the result he wanted.
But Dane, maybe he didn't. Maybe it was just whoopsie.
But even still, he said it's a happy accident, which means that's what he wanted. And he's defending it.
It's literally good. Gary. Yeah, he's defending. Like I'm seeing that throughout the videos. Like, if it's a good show, what he would normally call a toxic man. He is now defending those actions. It is holy shit.
That's wild, dude.
It's like he's operating with two different minds, depending on whether he's choosing to use the show for negative politics or not.
And it's so crazy because that's exactly what the opposite of what the show is trying to even convey with that scene, though. Like 100% dishonest and
Yeah. How often do you see a character mercy kill somebody with a jagged rock?
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Fuck. All right, so we got that kind of. I feel like you get a good idea of how Gary works. It's tons of bigotry spread throughout. Obviously, he has his agenda that he pushes, and he says he doesn't, but he does.
Yeah.
No, they don't. No, we have the agenda. They don't have the agenda.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, no, I'm
good movies.
Agenda ridden. Yeah. But in case you're wondering, is there any other bigotry besides the blatant sexism? And yeah, I got a little bit of that right here. This will be the last bit, guys. But yeah, it's good to see this crap too.
Our LARPing guild, who only exists to probably fill out any diversity or inclusivity that wasn't covered with the main cast. Our wacky, inclusive, and diverse LARPing guild, who happens to be filled with first responders and cops, agrees to get the trick arrows in exchange for more cosplay fabric. And when she comes back out, there is a very diverse family in the living room.
Yelena?
Nani?
Real quick, it's established in canon that people who are Black Widows are sterile. So I don't even know what the fuck he's saying here. I don't even know.
He can't imagine like someone adopting someone outside of the race, dude. Like,
what?
Do that?
God damn it, Archmage. We need to bring you on as a comedy writer, dude. I am fully confident that you are a better comedy writer than Adam Friendon.
Right? Where is? See, this is a teachable moment.
He could have learned something right now.
Yes. Oh, well, he's still in the chat. And Adam, make sure to like and subscribe.
Right?
He could even leave earlier.
This party that Clint and Kate have infiltrated
What's the
with
joke?
the Inclusive and Diverse LARPing Guild, and I'm sure Marvel will continue their mission in 2022.
The joke is that Gary doesn't understand how adoption works.
I mean, it seems like it just doesn't. Any time that the character is black or something, these things. Like, does he walk around in the grocery store and he's like, "Oh, the fucking aisle 7's got this diversity going on"? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, it's this thing. Well, like, even if you don't know, like, even they don't set up the Black Widows are sterile, even if they don't set that up, who cares? So they adopted a kid, or maybe there's some weird genetic variation. Or maybe she married somebody who already had a daughter. There's so many variations here.
do we even know that that's their daughter? Maybe they're babysitting.
Yeah. Yes.
Fuck,
That's another one. I didn't even think about that one. There's so many variations here.
You know that's the weird part that like you're absolutely right. Like I didn't even notice there was like a black kid in that fucking shot. It even registered to me.
Well, that was a smaller treat.
That was a small. If she was a full-grown adult, then we'd have a problem.
It'd be bigotry, but she's a smaller treat. You know, the thing that stood out to me was before that was the LARPer Guild, right? Is like they only exist to fill out. It's like characters just can't ever be diverse without them using it as a fucking cudgel like that. And yeah, man. And it's also isn't it takes place in New York, right?
Yeah.
Fucking New York. Like modern day
no
New
diversity
York.
In New York, yeah.
There ain't no black people in
It's
New
all
York.
white guys.
They're really forcing it to have people of color in there, then, you know, because everybody knows.
You mean historically white New York?
Yeah, New York, known the world over for being the whitest city in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
God
Yeah,
damn.
dude,
To destroy all the characters that made them popular in the first place, to make way for more lazy, derivative, tokenized characters, all in the name of progress. It's no wonder they came out swinging at the fandom before the show even came out, because again, they knew they had a giant.
Look who we got here making a
Disney
cameo. Did you see who made a cameo?
I sure did.
Shitting into diapers.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You saw that, Ryan? We'll get into that another time, but just we got some stuff brewing. We got some shit brewing in diapers.
After harshly calling all white people racist, Lucasfilm prepped actress Moses Ingram against racist backlash to her. That is such a wild thing, dude. Because like,
if I wrote something like that, I'd be embarrassed.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
these people have no fucking shame, bro.
Did we miss the tweet where they endorsed calling all white people racist?
Yeah,
is that the one where, is that the one where they just say, "Hey, don't be racist"? And this guy is saying, "Is this guy calling all white people racist?" Because I don't think Disney did that.
See, that's a jump, because before I thought it was just they called all the fans racist, which they didn't do. But now it's like, well, no, they actually endorsed calling all white people. Wow, they're really expanding their.
Right? It's weird, dude. They literally they hate fucking SJW so much they just become one themselves.
I remember when Ewan McGregor did that video in the car, and he just started out and said, hey, listen, all Star Wars fans are racist. You're all pieces of shit. I don't want to see any of you watching the show. Fucking racist pieces of shit.
Yeah, just so you guys
know. I was like,
know.
why do Ewan McGregor say that? I was like,
yeah, that's when they started calling him Malcolm X.
Do you mind if I just kind of sidebar to just give a little context on getting into diapers? So here's an article that was a review of the end of, is from She-Hulk, that when the season wrapped up. Let's see. Let's just dive into this now so we can finally move on with our lives. Here we are at the end, and She-Hulk has wrapped its pointless existence with a childish, man-hating temper tantrum of a finale. Last week, despite having lectured both us and her cousin about how she was just so good at keeping in check, Jen lost control of her anger after one of her drunken hookups was broadcast to the attendees of a phony-ass award ceremony, the kind you'd see demanded by women who think the act of using a tampon is something they should be celebrated for.
Oh my God.
In the wake of this meltdown, Jen begins this episode waking up at the superhuman equivalent of Twitter jail. Don't worry, though, as just like the violent criminal in New York City, Jen is out on the streets just a few hours later. think that that's any kind of accurate. Billed as a superhero show, its eponymous Jade Giant took every opportunity it could to reject the very idea of being a hero. And it just gets fucking unhinged. And then it goes into, in this episode proves anything, it's that Jessica Gao and the rest of the funky bunch behind the series are nothing more than insecure children. As even after being handed 9 episodes to do whatever they wanted with the beloved Marvel character across, they chose to waste everyone's time by dedicating their show to the haters.
You know, I just really want to point out that like he thinks that a feminist is someone who believes that like using a tampon is something they should be celebrated for. Like, dude, like imagine like being this dude's girlfriend or something, you know, and just like, oh, mama action. Oh no, so now you want a reward? Now you want a participation trophy? Leading up pussy. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, like if I wrote for something like Bounty in the Comics and somebody asked me what I wrote for, I'd be so embarrassed. I'd pick something less embarrassing, like, I work for We Got This Covered.
I
taste dog shit. That's what I do.
At the very end of here is kind of interesting. This is so here in the same vein. I believe the writers of this show deserve a stone cold stunner the next time anyone sees them in public. And then editor's note: we at Bounty and Shitting in a Diaper do not endorse anyone doing this. Editor's note 2: speak for yourself.
Wow.
What a fucking childish thing.
Who can treat this seriously?
Right. Who like how can anybody use this as like serious like fucking journalism though, for real?
I mean, it makes sense that this is their logo and that's the name of their website. Really,
that
like,
is they
did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's accurate at least.
Just don't go to shittingintodiapers.com. Don't do that. Yeah. Renfail. Who's Renfail?
I guess that's another one. That's another grifter, dude. Another fucking one on the in the fucking bottom of the barrel there.
So you'll notice. Oh wait, I forgot. There was the first part review of season 1, and this is at my editorial thing, but I took this quote from the review: the insufferable middle-aged slag, he calls her.
Jesus.
Well,
it is a comedy. Like it's a comedy, right? Like, does she ever go out of her way to do anything heroic in the comic books?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean,
she's an Avenger.
And she's going to in the future, you know. But the thing is that they don't even whenever something like, I remember when the first episode aired, and they were all mad because she was like kind of cocky about how she can keep her shit in check compared to Bruce, and they're like, oh, so she's just so much better. I'm like, dude, if you know anything about narrative, they're setting up that later in the season she's gonna fucking not be able to keep herself in check, and then sure enough, that's what fucking happens. And then they still want to go, oh, well, first they said she can, and now she can't. It's like, that was the point, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, it drives me nuts how they cannot understand character arcs. Like,
a woman, like, the first they complain because she's too perfect, and then whenever it shows that she literally was hubristic with this whole anger thing, nope, they can't even fucking acknowledge that either. It's
no,
dude. Honestly, because like they don't fucking like. At some point, they drop off, dude. At some point, they don't watch every single video that like Nerdrotic puts out about House of the Dragon, because at that point, you know, you might as well be watching it yourself. Essentially, what they do is that they watch like the first like episode or two's video on it, and they don't let go of those talking points. They hold on to it. They move the goalposts back to those things that they're comfortable with, time after time again. You know, that's where I think it really comes from.
Yep, 100%.
All right. We got a few more clips here, and then I think we're pretty much done with Gary.
Disney knows they're producing crap because they're not producing entertainment or art. They're producing content for their platform, all in service of the message. But of course, we're all racist for pointing that out. Well, as Ben Kenobi says,
some things can't be forgotten.
And Disney can say 2 + 2 = 5 all they want. We will be here to point out that that's their
ticket to say whatever they want, because this happened, and it's not even clear why they did that. It could just be for any other reason, but even if it was, the reason was racism, now they can say anything they want.
I've looked it up. Like, he wasn't shrunk on the Last Jedi poster. He wasn't shrunk on the Rise of Skywalker poster.
But he was on the Force Awakens, Bob. He was shrunk.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, he was on The Force Awakens 8 years ago now.
It's impossible that was just a design choice made. It's impossible.
Yeah,
that was
no.
the reason.
Well, that's the thing that I want people to think about. Like, was it done for racism? I don't know. Maybe. But also, maybe they marketed it different. Because if you remember when that movie came out, they marketed Finn in the trailers. He was the one with the lightsaber. He was the one fighting Kylo Ren. So it actually makes sense. He's the one with the lightsaber, and he's going to be bigger than the American poster.
So in China, they didn't do the bait and switch, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they might not have. I don't know. Yeah.
Dude, like, when you have to keep referring back to shit that happened 7 fucking years ago, dude, like...
It's time to question yourself.
Yeah, seriously, like, get over it, Gary. My God, man.
Well, that's the thing. They only bring this up when somebody else is like calling them racist, which they probably are being racist. Like they've not done a video just talking about this poster and talk about how this poster pisses them off. They've never done that.
Dude,
it's all about deflection. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, of course they haven't made one being like, can you believe this? Like, this is fucked up. What they did. No, they're not
because
doing that.
they don't actually give a shit. They don't actually.
The only time that they acknowledge racism is whenever it's to defend against other racism, like being accused of racism. Otherwise, in other words, which is worse? Saying that,
you got me. You got me.
No, really, which is worse?
You're not drunk.
Every single time. But because there is a synergy and a balance to the universe, while Disney Star Wars' Kenobi and Disney Marvel's Miss Marvel flop and flounder on a streaming service on the same week that Gina Carano premieres Terror on the Prairie. And that in itself is a victory. Hail Gina Carano. Hail to the fandom.
I just had to cut that in there because that has aged so well.
Hail Gina Carano.
Very, very well.
The hundreds of dollar earning top liner of the fucking just box office squeaky fart that was Terror on the Prairie.
Well, right behind Zoe Saldana, she's known for being the highest earning actress in Hollywood working today.
Zoe Saldana has been in 5 different $1 billion movies. And then right below that is
right ahead of that is Gina Carano.
with their Daily Wire smash hit that only made $804. Dude, I always say these guys have a Holden Caulfield complex and shit, but what better evidence is there of that than the fact that Gary literally criticized companies whose entire purpose is to make movies and TV shows for making movies and TV shows, dude. That is literally something the Holden Caulfield would fucking do in the book because his brother's a fucking screenwriter. I'm sure if I were to dig through it, I'd find a passage in there that sounds like that, They're just making movies and TV shows to make money on their services.
That's a really terrible way to phrase it, by the way, because it made $804. So saying it made over $800, it makes it sound a little better.
Yeah. It made over $803.
That could be
only natural to us that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect what the world actually looks like, says Lindsay Weber, executive producer of The Rings of Power. I think the only card they had left to play was using diversity and identity as a shield. The Rings of Power had the worst publicity rollout in history. Massive ratios on every video they released about this show.
I love how the things that they do are then become the evidence of the thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's they act like they exist completely separate from the rest of from IMDb scores, from Rotten Tomatoes audience reviews, from downvotes. And it's well, look, what can you say? It's downvoted a lot.
Mm-hmm. I told my fans to downvote it, and now it's downvoted a lot. What?
Honestly,
proof that sucks, right?
You never see
it's this weird stochastic downvoting kind of thing, right? They don't actually say go do it, but they're they know they're going to.
Yeah, you never see this happen to movies they don't cover. You never see this happen to movies that are original ideas or anything like that. I mean, isn't it weird that this only happens to the movies they complain about? Is it just me, or is that just kind of a little funny?
It's complete coincidence, man. That's
total
random.
Yeah.
Somebody's having like an emoji stroke in chat. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, I think Sooner Than Later is taking off. They said peace.
Oh, I gotcha. I can see that.
I was like, oh, are you just repeating some kind of incoherent thing? I don't know.
It looks like later going to sleep. Larry on.
Gotcha. Have a good night. Night. Sweet dreams.
Have a good one, man.
Oh, massive ratios on other people's videos.
I have a meme about that, but I'll bring it. Go ahead.
Videos talking about their videos. Amazon caught manipulating reviews, deleting reviews. To this day, caught paying off reviewers. So and don't let some smug hack.
Oh yeah. By the way, I still would like a source for that one, Gary.
Right? Yeah.
I want a source for that one.
She'll tell you.
Yeah.
You're a small vocal minority. No, you are the large vocal majority. Keep it up. Fine. If you like. And we got some LGBTQ plus representation, so everybody should be happy, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say everybody is saying it. It's not just Hollywood saying you guys are the vocal minority. Everybody's saying it. I'm saying it.
Well, it's almost like they are the vocal minority.
These guys are not the fandom. They are simply not. They are overrepresented on YouTube, and that's why they maybe feel like they are the fandom. But that's not the case.
Yeah, that is something that I get a lot. That I see a lot, like in our audience, is that a lot of them really are just pissed off that like Gary thinks that he speaks for the entirety of the fandom when nobody wants to be like that. Nobody wants to be represented by Gary fucking Buechler. That shit's embarrassing.
So, if you're curious what the exact formula for a Nerdrotic review is, and you want, you're really excited to put one together, start with some cringy comedy, do your logo. Begin with some really unrelated facts to the actual like merits of the fictional piece or the piece at all. Then do a point by point breakdown of the entire story. Then end with some concluding thoughts and some more unrelated facts about the fictional piece or the piece. Sprinkle in there a little bit of just random bigotry, and then just soak the damn thing in sexism.
Yeah,
and that's a Nerdrotic review.
Yeah, let that shit fester in it for a while, so it gets really in there.
Yeah, you really want it like ingrained in there. You don't want to miss. You don't want a woman to pop up on screen and not make fun of her.
Yeah, if you see a black person, make sure you point out they're black. If you see a woman, make sure, even if they're just a background character that's on screen for all of 5 minutes,
No, one of the shots I point out there, and it goes by really fast, where he's looking like it looks like we're looking at like two of the writers of Rings of Power. And he just randomly zooms in on the woman while he's talking.
Right.
And then it's like, what are you doing? What are you?
It is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of implied stuff that leaves benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like the same thing with like he didn't even have to mention the little kid that was, black or whatever in that one scene. He could, because he literally just did the zoom in and the fucking anime speed lines and stuff like that. I'm surprised he even mentioned it, honestly, because he often doesn't, or sometimes doesn't. But
no, yeah, that's the funny thing that these guys do, because what they do is just indirect, suggestive editing and shit like that. One of my favorite fucking moments that I've ever covered was when Critical Drinker was doing the video about Rings of Power, and he pointed out that he cut to like literally just two black people, and they're like, and they say that these people represent the audience, that these are the fans. And all I could think is like, what about this black person tells you they're not fans? Other than the fact that they're black, because that's it. It's just a close up on a black person. He's like, these are the people who are saying they're fans now. And it's like, bro, like, I'm Mexican. I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Those movies rule. Like, I'm a fan. If I can like it, black people can too.
So Crazy Joe, I actually do know that he does that a lot. Just in those 5 videos, he did it a little bit, but wasn't too much. So it didn't make. And there's plenty of other clips, but yeah, that is.
I apologize sooner than later. I hope you have a good night. And I have watched the first 2 episodes of Bad Batch season 2. It's good shit.
Peace out sooner than later. And yeah, just like something that's really fun to think about whenever you hear Gary do that gay voice is that he was in prison, for a while. That voice didn't come out of nowhere, guys. He had some lonely nights. His cellmates had lonely nights. They did a little role playing to so they don't miss their girlfriend so much at home,
So yeah, I made this meme whenever She-Hulk ended, and then there was like they were talking about the low user scores or whatever, and it's like, dude, you made nonstop content that implicitly tells your audience to go downvote the shit.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, Eric's Reloaded. You know, he is part of the initiative. He just got a lot of shit going on. His schedule's wonky. He works like a real job and stuff. That's at nighttime. But he came on my channel at that point, and he said something that put me to shame. Like, I can't believe I didn't think of how it's just so simple and perfect. He's like, if you have to downvote something, doesn't that disprove that it's bad? You know what I mean? Like,
I remember hearing that and going, "Oh, that's a good point."
If it's so bad, you should just sit back, kick your feet up, and wait for the actual audience to honestly go, "This is bad. Downvote it." You know what I mean? No. So like the fact that they rush to the shit and hey, you have to downvote it and create these fucking sock accounts for little user reviews and stuff, which they deny that they do, but they know they do. You know, it's telling. But
well, the fact that they talk about these specific series so much tells you those series can't be doing that poorly. Because otherwise, if they was doing poorly, then it'd be like Andor, which they ignored. And I guarantee you, if Andor was popular and they get their chuds to be against it, they would have done hate on it in a heartbeat.
But and that's the thing is that they are actually contributing to success of these things by talking about them. It's just well known that in you know these days, Netflix and streaming services in general, they definitely factor in social media chatter about stuff. You know, it's one of the reasons I remember they fucking, sorry, it's really triggering. They canceled Daredevil. It wasn't that it was doing super bad or anything like that. Just nobody was talking about it anymore. You know, it's like because when something's not new and it still can be good, but people just aren't going to be talking about it quite as much anymore. And Netflix looks at that and goes, yeah, that's not a good sign. You know what I mean? But yeah, generally contributing to the algorithm, which we know they know how the algorithm works because they fucking game it. You know what I mean? They've been gaming it for years. It only benefits a show. It doesn't. Yeah.
But the fans don't know that, man. The fans don't think about that. You know, like ultimately, part of the reason why, like, you know, something else that he does, the fart noises too. But something else that he does at the end of every video is a call to action. It's like a rallying cry to his fans to remind them, hey, everybody else is against you. You guys are the real fans. Everyone else is full of shit. You know, and essentially by doing that, like, it further keeps them insulated in this little community for themselves. So they literally probably don't even know better than to know that they are just actually helping and drawing more awareness to this stuff. It's also why they genuinely believe that like every black person out there is like, if you don't like Black Panther, you're racist and shit. They really, I don't think they have any other point of reference.
No, I don't think they do either. I think I don't think they know anything, to be frank.
Yeah, definitely not. They know. You know what they know? They know how to make fucking bots. That's one thing their fans definitely. They definitely know how to do.
Yeah, I mean.
Sorry. Go ahead, Dane.
I forgot what I was going to say. I was just going to pull this up for one thing.
Yeah, that is accurate. No.
That's a good one, man. I like that.
It's all he's got, man. Well, that's the thing. Like, he started calling Phase 4 the MCU. He started calling it that with WandaVision. That first clip was from WandaVision.
Yeah.
WandaVision was literally the first part of the Phase 4. And he's already calling it MCU.
He could have called it Phase Her, too. That would have been so much more creative and like actually like a little clever. But anyways, yeah.
Well, actually, I have this now that I think about it. That makes a good point, I believe, if I can, suck myself off here a little bit. So there was this tweet from Heather Antos, who is literally the woman who tweeted about the milkshake 5 years ago and started the Make Mine milkshake, and that launched the Comicsgate gathered around that. And, I did a video on that. You can check that out. But yeah, so she had tweeted. She no longer works at Marvel, but she was like the editor in chief. She's pretty high up in at IDW. And she said here, dear business people everywhere, whenever walking into a room with creatives, please, for the love of God, never ever use the phrase monetize content. Sincerely, creatives everywhere. Now, a creative person understands what that means, right? A creative person understands the fucking the feeling. It's just saying that like that shouldn't be your priority when communicating with a creative, because that's not a creative's first. That's not how they think about things, right?
Yeah.
Now you call every artist for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, creatives may think about ways to turn what they're creating into monetizable content or whatever. But like, really, actually, that's more the studio's thing to do. Hire the creatives that you want to create the things that you want to monetize as content. You know, well, Gary, I give you the modern comic book industry in one tweet, as if that proves anything. And I said here, Gary thinks he said something clever here, but he really expressed the fundamental reason why he and other anti-fans are unable to analyze media coherently. They have no creative ability. That's why every video and stream is the same tired rhetoric recycled for every movie and show. They see film, TV, and comics as something to consume and or profit from. Heather was expressing something most truly creative people know. Creating content for strictly financial gain leads to empty, soulless media, just like Gary's and all of his Chud Buds content.
Ryan came up with a great comment here. Didn't he just complain about Disney creating content and not art? And he does. He does that all the time. Disney product.
All they want to do. Yeah.
Well, wait. Do you want art, Gary, or do you want content? Pick one, dude.
I
would rather art, but you know,
I think he just wants to whine, bro.
Man.
I think he just wants to whine and cry and bitch and moan instead of, you know.
He wants to grift.
Don't give up his game. Don't give up his game.
You know, this one's pretty simple but effective as well.
That was a great one.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I actually have like a not really an essay, but the beginnings of an essay on character as product.
Yeah.
And like how, you know, essentially it is. These things are products. You can't fucking deny that. But it's not to say that the two are mutually exclusive, where you can't have art as a product. It's been, you know, since money has existed, art has also been products that have been sold and stuff.
Yeah, you know, it always cracks me up when the right uses like the profit motive as proof of something being corrupt and something being bad, and then they turn around and defend capitalism like with all their arts and soul.
Well, they use like, oh, this isn't making money, therefore it sucks. And then also, like, if it makes too much money, it's like, oh, it's just a product, you know. And pick a lane, guys.
Yeah,
wow.
There's also consumption. There's very few things in the capitalistic or in the late stage capitalism you can do besides consume. Like, that's just facts.
Their lane is just, you know, grifting on whatever the thing is that they're trying to grift on. You know, as I say, if it wasn't for double standards, they'd have no fucking standards at all.
Yeah, 100%.
I had one segment left, but I don't like it went a little late, so I don't know. Do we want to go ahead and sign off for the night, or?
Well, I mean, this is, you know, Ed's night. What do you got going on, Ed? You want to?
No, I'm ready to sign off if you guys are. I think we pretty good shit today for sure. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no,
we definitely bullied the shit out of Adam Friend, and that's fun.
That is always fun. That is always fun. We will see. Maybe if I do go on his show, it will be on my channel. So
well, he didn't invite me. I noticed he invited Pop Culture, you know, pretty specifically. He didn't say me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like he wants to talk about screenwriting. Why would I want to talk to screenwriting with him for? Like, what am I going to get out of that? Dude?
Oh well, the goal it will be to bully us.
Oh no, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, which is like
I know exactly what he's doing. I know.
Right? No,
he's been doing a long time. He runs defense for these chuds, man. It's basically his whole thing is to kind of be what I call a normalizer, right? Like he makes a little bit less obvious content that's about the same thing, and then he'll see, you know, what he did with me was he saw me making a video about Ethan, and he's like, hey, I can get in contact with Ethan if you want to debate him. We can see, you know, just talk about it. And then I look at his channel and see that he's at Ethan and somebody on there debating several times, and that they're communicating on Twitter. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're totally just an impartial, fucking neutral, you know, party here. Gotcha.
I'm just interested in being fair, you know, and I'm just, you know,
like it's tough to get a hold of Ethan. Come on.
That narcissist? I could get him on my show if I wanted to, bro.
Dude, I could probably easily get him triggered if I just replied to one of his tweets going, hi.
Dude, all you'd have to
what the fuck do you mean by this?
Dude, all you'd have to do is just show him that fucking tweet with that dude's wife, and he'll just, you're done. You got him.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, he'll do his in the camera. It's fucking crazy grin.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously, thank you everyone for watching and commenting. And
Thank you,
liking
thank
and
you
subscribing.
everybody for. I know the neurotic stuff was rough, but I did think it was good to kind of break it down because this is like how he works.
Yeah,
Like,
but yeah. By the way, thank
is
you,
what
Bob,
he
for
is.
doing that. I never would have fucking done that, and like you were a stronger man than I.
Thank you for your
because-
service.
Yeah,
hey, you guys
it's
sat
not.
through that stuff, and it was rough editing it, and I was like, God, this is gonna be rough having people sit.
I can
through this.
imagine, but
I
you
think
did
it's
it, and it was
important.
an important thing to do. Yep, it's very valid. It's going to make into a good, upload, edited upload. So,
yeah,
definitely. Everybody, like and subscribe to this stream wherever you're at. If you're at Actual Fandom, go over to Organized Chaos and like and subscribe. And if you're at Organized Chaos, go to Actual Fandom, like and subscribe. Go to Pop Counterculture. He needs more subs. Oh well, we all need more subs. So
he deserves more
Pop
subs.
Counterculture needs more subs. And they're not here with us tonight, but hit up Eric's Reloaded, hit up Turf Nation, hit up Will Screedia, hit
All
up
those are in
Fandom
the
Initiative
description
channel.
of the videos, by the way.
I also want to give a shout out to a Blurry Films, who also does a lot of the stuff that we do, and does really great content himself.
Yeah, he does some good stuff too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everyone have a good night.
Yeah, peace out, everyone.